Welcome in, McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, 7 a.m. It is Thursday, June 5th, right here on Jocks 94.5. We have Auburn head baseball coach Butch Thompson, 9:30 today. Going to talk some super regional, as those are going to get underway this weekend. Obviously, Auburn has Coastal Carolina at home. Home field advantage, we spent a little bit of time talking earlier in the week. It can be of benefit. The routine probably going to be the biggest part, GMAC, of just knowing where you're going, knowing where the bullpen is, not having to drive to a hotel, sleeping in your own bed. Those are probably the biggest advantages you're going to get as far as. But that Auburn crowd's also been great this year. And last weekend it was awesome. So you feel like it'll be more beneficial in a lot of ways, but it doesn't feel the same as it does maybe in football or basketball.
Yeah, I think batting last 2 out of 3 games too. I mean, not that that's like the end of the world, but that's always a little helpful, kind of knowing what you need. The walk-off ability is always kind of nice. So I think that gives you a slight advantage, but I don't know if it's the end of the world. I think the big key is you have comfort and familiarity. Like you said, sleep in your own bed, be in your own clubhouse, be able to kind of do your own routine in the event in which we have severe weather, which looks likely this weekend. You have the comforts of your own clubhouse. You've been through that song and dance before. You have access to facilities that you wouldn't necessarily have if you were on the road. So I think there's a lot of benefits to it.
Will you get locked in this weekend?
To baseball?
Just, super regionals.
Well, it's GBBA finals. I'll be watching those.
This weekend?
Yeah, Friday, I think.
Okay. You're going?
No. We got to watch Game Changer.
There you go. Get that up. Get on the tape.
Yes, I will absolutely be in, because this is when I start to really enjoy it at the super regional level, and then Omaha is one of my favorite events of the year.
So which sporting event, and we can take this outside of college because there's one that begins tonight that may fall into this category as well. Which event do we sort of bandwagon best? And I don't mean for your team. Like if Auburn and Alabama are in the NCAA tournament, a lot more people are dialing in. Same thing with Omaha, whatever. But just in general, what sporting event do you think that we bandwagon the most? Is it Omaha now?
No?
How far has that come? Is it the NCAA tournament still?
Yes.
Is it a postseason professionally, be it hockey, NBA? Like NBA finals get going tonight, 7:30 on ABC. Pacers Thunder. Doesn't feel like a ton of buzz. Just being honest. And not that we come in here and talk NBA every day, and that's kind of our go-to. We spend a lot of time breaking it down. We're not going to tell you how Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be able to penetrate the Pacers defense on a regular basis, but, Halliburton's health probably not going to be a real part of the conversation
Rick
today.
Carlisle's going to dial it up.
Yeah, you just don't. He can scheme them.
Yeah,
one of the best XOs guys in the business. Which event do we bandwagon the most?
You already know the answer to this.
NCAA tournament?
No.
That actually wasn't going to be my guess. My guess would be the Kentucky Derby.
No.
Because I also, when I say bandwagon the best, I mean
I've been watching.
Are most removed from real knowledge of said event.
Yes.
And all of a sudden become experts.
That is not that. I like the concept, not where I was going.
Masters.
No.
It's a lot of people
watch.
There, though. It's up there.
A lot of people watch golf a lot. I mean, so yeah, I think it might be.
Do they? Our resident golf guy admits all the time that rarely actually watches golf.
Oh, I watch golf. I don't really watch it actively. I watch it.
You watch when you're sleeping?
I watch it passively. I will flip it on the side TV on Sunday when we get home from church. Like, that's pretty much it. All right. You want to know the answer?
Okay.
And it's just so easy. And as soon as I say it, you're going to be like, you're right. That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
It's the World Cup. It is 100% the World Cup. Every single time the World Cup starts, every 4 years. USA. We got Pulisic. We've been, our soccer team, we are going to make it to the single elimination format, to knockout rounds this year. Like, we are going to make it through group stage this year. Like, I've been watching, and I watched the CONCACAF in last 2 summers ago, and we had a good showing. We finished second to Paraguay. Like, I mean, that is 100%. Everybody thinks that everyone becomes a diehard Like
The
hardcore.
draw with Germany, though, really did set us apart from previous teams.
Yes. We have a new manager.
Is it a manager or a coach? Honestly,
I think it's a manager. Jorgen Klingman is gone. But I really don't know. I like I've told you, I know nothing about soccer. I don't pretend to know anything about soccer. I don't even pretend to like soccer. But I do acknowledge that when the World Cup is on, there is a certain level of patriotism that I feel as a fan. So I will therefore watch the USA soccer team.
So why would it not be the Olympics then? Because then you have multiple sports to choose from.
Because I don't watch all the sports. Like I do enjoy short track speed
I don't think
skating.
that's possible to watch all the sports. I mean,
I can't sit there and say I'm like, oh, I've been so excited about the 400 hurdles this year. It's really going to be a close
race.
race.
Into the rowing, it's not. You don't get excited about that.
No.
That shot put this year. Oh man, dialed in.
Well, now there are parts.
The Russians have two guys though. They're gonna be tough to overcome.
There are parts of the women's pole vault that is enjoyable, and there are also parts of like certain events that I enjoy. Pole vault is one. I would say triple jump is one. I don't know how they do it.
You know how they don't tear ACLs and PCLs and Achilles.
I would literally turn an ankle running down the track before I even initiated the triple jump. I would also say that I'm talking mostly track and field here. I'm not talking as much like I'm not watching like cycling. You know, I'm not watching.
Well, you could do that. You don't need to watch
marathon.
it. You could do the marathon and the cycling. So you don't need to watch it.
What sports do you watch in the Summer Olympics, Mr. Olympian?
Basketball.
No, you don't watch that. You don't watch basketball.
Olympic basketball.
They win by 100. You're not
anymore. They don't.
I'm not watching it.
Actually,
until LeBron retires, I'm not watching.
Was actually super competitive. It was actually close.
Against who?
I don't recall the teams that
France,
were in it. Yeah, because Wimby was in there and Durant went off. Like Durant pretty much cemented himself as the greatest Olympian basketball player on the men's side all time.
Did we keep in a list? Give me your list of best Olympic basketball players.
Cheryl Swoops.
I mean, I won't argue with it.
Tony Kukoc.
Tony Kukoc. Who did he play for?
You didn't say American. You just said Olympic basketball.
Who did he play for?
Who do you think he played for?
The Bulls.
Goodness gracious.
MJ and Pippen hated him, so you can't like him.
There was a guy, man, I was following him, and I think he played for France, and he has like more points than Durant does in his career. But I don't know his name because he's not like an NBA guy. Durant's up there. Curry's up there.
Okay, I'm over this conversation. Also, like, we are familiar with those stars.
I did watch it. I remember my son wanted to see Steph play, and we were watching. I remember watching it.
I remember listening to
track
it.
and field, if I'm near it, I'm not going to, like, make sure I'm home at 2:35 to watch the 400 meters.
That's the problem is it's too scattered. Like, I think
it's all replays.
Well, it's fine. That's like if you watch the primetime special, yes, it's all replays, but you already in some cases know the results. Like the Olympics is a little bit harder to keep up with. But
gymnastics for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, not
Suni Lee. She's went to Auburn.
My wife watches all of it, so it's on. It's before Suni Lee. She's
Nastia Lukin. She's from Dallas.
That's what I want to watch.
The girl that made the face, Michaela Maroney.
Made the face. Summer Olympics. What else we get into?
No, we're talking about bandwagon events.
Swimming. All the swimming. You asked me what events do we watch in Summer Olympics? Swimming for sure.
Yeah. I get enough swim meets now.
Only if America's good.
America's always good. Australia is good too.
We're talking about Olympics. At least you have a lot to get into. But yeah,
we're talking bandwagon events.
World Cup is good. That might be at the top.
That might be number one, I think, when it comes to bandwagon sporting events. I'm telling you, I have buddies that like played high school soccer, middle school soccer, probably more middle school to be honest with you. And like they're telling me, we're running the 3-3-4 today.
Hell yeah!
I was reading about it. We're going to be in great shape, and the keeper's got to get out and. Like, dude, you haven't played soccer in 30 years. Relax.
What's really changed, though?
I don't know.
Did they go from the triple option to the air raid?
I don't know. If I played Pee Wee football and stopped playing in 5th grade, I'm not going to sit there and break down the Cowboys offense and how the fullback's going to attack the inside edge of the shoulder pad on the end man on the line of scrimmage because we're running power. Like I don't know. Like I think the World Cup is definitely the best example because soccer goes from a complete afterthought, the 12th most important sport in America, to like by far the most for a 3-week span. And it's not just patriotism. I'm talking about people are watching Spain, people are watching Ghana, people are watching, of course you're going to watch Messi and Ronaldo and Mbappe.
Of course you are.
How many people are waking up on Saturday mornings just grinding on Bundesliga? But everybody can tell you what the heck the German team's going to look like once the World Cup rolls around.
There was a great answer there, but I'm glad I didn't say it on air. John, do you agree? Is it World Cup? Is that the sporting, and I use that phrase loosely, event that we bandwagon best?
Yeah, probably, because even with the Olympics, even though collectively all of America is in for all of the Olympics, ain't everyone in for everything.
No.
Let's geographically have a part of this conversation as well. Are you just speaking America? Or are you speaking our region?
No, I'm speaking like just America in general.
Okay.
Like I think
I'm going to focus mine on the Southeast, and I'm going to go Masters. Because exactly what you're saying about
a lot of people in the Southeast watch golf, though. Like, I literally go 4 years between watching soccer matches.
They're also on at 4 a.m. So, like you said, you can come home on Sunday and put the John Deere Classic on, and at least it's there. You know where it's going to be every week.
There's English Premier League every Saturday morning. If you wake up, if you have kids under 5, like I do, you're up at 7 a.m. on Saturday morning, and you watch English Premier League. Well, I mean, by the time you get to 7 a.m., you're desperate, so you put on anything. I mean, seriously, it's like, let me just drink my coffee.
There's a lot of people, though, that are talking about that tree on 7 that's not there this year anymore, and the wind on 14. Better be careful. Have you seen the greens on 9 and how they're rolling?
But I actually think people
all of a sudden, not only are they all golf experts, they're all groundskeepers when that tournament comes around.
That's not inaccurate at all. So, I like that. Everyone has a distinct knowledge of Zoysia fairways. And Bermuda.
There's the pine straw. You can't be a guy that doesn't stay in the fairways because when you're coming off that pine straw, it's slick, man.
Yeah, and sub air under the greens. Like, there's all kinds of fun stuff there. But seriously, like really tell me what. I don't think there's a lot of people that are avid soccer fans in our community. But I can tell you this:
how many people were at the Legion game last night?
I think the Legion has a good following.
They do, great following.
But I think it's kind of a niche following. I think that's a good thing. Lean into that. I think there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It's great. I want to take my kids to a game. I would really like to take them to a game. My kids continue to play soccer. Like, I think soccer is a good sport. I really do. I mean that when I say that. I just don't think there's a lot of people that are watching soccer regularly, weekly.
No, you're right.
But guess what? When the World Cup's on, that's all I watch. I am the person that is the bandwagon. My watch starts sun up, sun down. Oh, it's Group E today. Let's go. Who's in Group? Oh, that's the group of death.
Knockout
It's
round.
England, Denmark, and Argentina and Mexico. Let's go. Come on, Mexico. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I find reasons to root for teams. I like it. I really enjoy the World Cup.
So do you think next World Cup, which is next year?
No, it's in America.
Do you think
going to Atlanta.
Do you think more people will be dialed into that, or when flag football starts in the Olympics?
No, it's not going to be.
Flag football is not going to catch on.
I don't
Even
think
if
it'll
the pros
be.
are in?
No, I think.
If the pros
How many
are playing,
pros do you
flag
think are
football.
going to play?
I don't think. The
I don't
pros
know
care.
if
That the kids want to watch.
if they let them dream team it.
They can't. I think there's a rule that they can't.
No, I think
they
Goodell
approved it.
wants them to.
Yeah.
But I don't think the owners are going to want them to. I wouldn't be surprised
Let
if
me
you
tell you
see
why they
some,
won't.
if you see some incentives from certain teams tied around OTAs or something.
Yeah.
Extra money to where they do that instead.
Also, let me tell you why they won't. Because right now they dominate in a certain field, and for example, Tyreek Hill. I think he'd be great, right? I don't think anyone disagrees. He'd probably be the best one that we can have. But you could kind of see Superman without his cape.
No, yeah.
If he goes
fair.
and gets exposed by like some.
It's like Scotty Scheffler's not trying to go win putt-putt.
Yeah, like you put Scotty Scheffler on the putt-putt green at pop stroke.
Where you got a
game on.
I'm talking old school putt-putt where you like the guys would literally the straightaway shot.
Yeah,
they bank it 4 times and it
100%.
goes in. And you're
Like
hold
you can
on.
kind of.
It was right there.
You don't want to get exposed. Like there's kind of this mythological. There's like this mythological, fascination with some of these guys. It's kind of like why Tebow wouldn't change positions. Like he wouldn't change positions because what if he got exposed? Like what if he wasn't as good an athlete as everybody thought? You know what I mean? I'm not saying that he wasn't. I'm just saying I think that there's something like you don't want to potentially get exposed and like alter the perception of how you are perceived right now.
Michael Kirby follows up what John said, tweeting in a good point. At Mac and Cube, you want to be a part of the show. Even more bandwagon in 2026 since U.S. Are the hosts.
Yes.
So, I don't know if that part will make – I think the part for that will make me or allow me to watch more will just be when it's on. It's not going to be on at 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to be watching a replay, having to not look at your phone or look at your computer to see who won.
Yeah.
Well, this game was 11 hours ago, but I want to see if the U.S. could get by Paraguay.
Plus, I think you have like a
death round E.
You have a little different connection to like when it's on your home turf. Like I know I do. Like I have a little different connection when the games are played in Atlanta or Dallas. Like I've spent hundreds of hours in those stadiums. Like there's a little connection there. Like so I think it's a little different. Like many people listening to this show have been to Atlanta. I would imagine that almost everybody listening to the show at some point has spent time in Atlanta. Maybe they haven't been to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but they have spent time in Atlanta. They have seen Mercedes-Benz Stadium more than likely.
It's where the players play. So,
But I think the World Cup. I go from not knowing anything about soccer.
Atlanta
to,
FD or Atlanta CF CW.
FC.
They sell out like every game.
Yeah. Dude, there's a good soccer. I think there's a solid soccer hardcore fan base in the United States. I don't think it's very big, but I think those that are in are all in.
I think it was Media Days. The first year was in Atlanta. The day that we went, like that Sunday
I
that we
remember
went,
that vaguely.
They had a game that day, and it was over like Sunday afternoon. And I was trying to get to the hotel, and you just couldn't move.
Yeah, I remember that
What is
vaguely.
happening? It's summer, and these people are wearing scarves.
But it's like Columbus. Yeah, exactly. It's like Columbus, Ohio, Kansas City. I think Atlanta's got a good following. Like I think there's some soccer. Seattle, I think, does pretty well. Portland, I think, does pretty well. Like there's some hot pockets of soccer consumers in this country for sure. Hardcore. And it's great. And they're all in. They're the fanatics that you see at the Premier League lighting, bonfires, barrel fires in the stands. And
Until
playing
we start throwing flares out of the stands, then
playing their
it's not the same.
vuvuzelas. Like, I mean, I'm all about it. I think that the average person is not watching a lot of soccer.
Okay.
And I think come World Cup time, that's all anybody watches.
All right, 800-239-9569. You want to get in and talk which sporting event do we bandwagon best? Are there any other that are close that we've missed? What would maybe be after the World Cup in the top 5? We'll continue that discussion on the other side. And as Greg mentioned, the weather this weekend looks like it could be a little unpredictable. Might not know exactly how that's going to go. Spring weather in Alabama can be really unpredictable. That's why you need the reliability of a Trane. Voted America's most trusted HVAC brand. Right now, you can receive up to a 10-year warranty on parts and labor on select Trane home comfort systems. Find out more at Trane.com. It's hard to stop a Trane. You tell us. Sporting events we bandwagon best. Next, Mac and Cube in the morning. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. We're still doing this milk crate challenge? It's still a thing?
I don't know what it is. Walk me through it.
It's worth your time.
All right.
Don't go down that rabbit hole on the show right now, though, because
No.
you won't be able to stop watching the videos.
I can resist that urge.
The old plastic milk crates.
Yeah, I remember.
They stack them like stairs.
Yeah.
I don't know how the tallest one is. The tallest one's probably about 7 feet, maybe 8 feet tall. And then they stack them down the other way. So you got to go up to the top one, then come down. People can't balance on them. And so they fall. And then a lot of times they fall on the crates and knock them all down.
I'm
it's
sure that's
extremely painful.
I'm sure that feels great.
Hilarious.
Hard pass for me on that, by the way.
Think about how bad that would hurt.
Yeah, I've seen a fair number of them, and no, don't want to.
That would hurt.
Don't want to do that. So
you're out. All right.
Other events that we bandwagon extremely well. We've talked NCAA tournament. We've talked College World Series. I will say, as time spent locked into events as they like women's College World Series, I don't watch a ton of college softball, but I do get locked into it. Same with the College World Series, super regionals. I mean, I feel like I'm constantly trying to catch up once the regionals get here and figure out what the other teams were and who they had and what they did. And it takes a while. But as far as time spent not watching and then watching, those two would be up there for me. We mentioned Kentucky Derby. Let's just say any horse race. Because outside of Jack Little, I don't think anybody's actually really out there watching horse racing on a regular basis and knowing exactly what's going to happen and what's going to take place.
Yeah, I can get on. I think the horse racing is more about betting than it is about. It could be.
You think?
It could be the Olympic steeplechase if there's odds on it. I like the person's the 6 lane. It doesn't make
jump.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it doesn't matter what it is. People just like betting, and that's a welcomed environment to do so.
So Greg threw out World Cup, which is probably number one. That one's going to be a tough one to top. Michael Kirby does throw out Super Bowl for bandwagoners. How many fans tune in to cheer for whoever played the Chiefs or even when the Patriots, etc.? But it's even more so than that. I mean, you have, what are we getting now? 175 million people?
No, I think it's just over. I think it's like 120.
So let's say out of 120 million, how many are watching for commercials? And then how many are watching for halftime? And this year specifically, there was another reason that people were tuned in. So, I mean, it's up there. I don't think that that's why the majority of people are going there. I would still say the large majority of people who consume the Super Bowl have watched large portions of multiple regular season NFL games.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, 'cause you're sitting around Thanksgiving watching them now. Christmas Day, you're watching them now. Black Friday, you're watching them now. Every Sunday, like kind of what you said about golf. There are a lot of people just come home and put football on, whether they're dialed in or not. It's
100%. It's on.
So,
you're right. Agree.
Daytona 500 there?
Yeah, I think that used to be a decent one. I'll
tell you one that I thought of this weekend was Indy 500. I don't think people really go to it and dial in, but I mean, I'm sitting there watching.
It still rates. I
kind of showed my kids like, hey, this Indy 500 is a big deal, and I don't think there were more than 2 drivers' names that I recognized.
Yeah. I got to be honest with you, I don't really watch the Indy 500.
It's a tough watch, man.
So
and I've been in person, and it's actually a more difficult watch in person.
Yeah.
Like you think it takes them a while to come around at Talladega. You can't hear them anymore at Brickyard.
It's that big.
They're just gone.
they actually leave.
And it's like you start a conversation, you talk about something. Oh, here we go. And it's over. And you start talking again.
Yeah.
You wait about 3 minutes and here they come again. It's just it's wild, man. Like that place, the scale of that place is unbelievable.
What about Wimbledon?
I don't think as much.
Okay.
No, I don't think a lot of people are consuming a ton of, let's just say, regular season tennis outside the majors, which.
No Miami Open for you?
No, the Palm Springs doesn't really do it for me. Doesn't Memphis have a tournament?
I think they do. I have tennis on every once in a while.
No, I love it. Tennis is like soccer, though. It's
on
hard
a Tuesday at 3:00 in the afternoon. If I'm like messing around the house or doing laundry or whatever it may be, like I'll throw it on.
We've also lost some big names recently.
It's true.
So people don't want to go.
Yeah,
watch
I'm probably
Federer
not
and
watching
Nadal
as much anymore without Federer and Nadal.
Damien said that we had a text into the show. The presidential election.
It's a phenomenal choice. Phenomenal.
Maybe outside of the parentheses of sporting event, but we'll allow it for this purpose. And I think it's absolutely brilliant. Yes.
Anything that has a rooting interest, though, does have a polarizing and rooting interest is going to naturally bring in a lot of people.
That one, too, there's so many ways to talk about it.
It's so
not even
good.
the winner or loser, but just
it's the best.
It's similar to college football in that it's going to push us into different conversations about why do we still do this? How should we do this? How should the vote go? Where should this count as much as this? I mean, it's like a never-ending tree trunk that gives you all these limbs and branches and leaves of conversations that just go and go and go.
And the cable news companies do such a good job of inciting fear.
It's incredible. Well, not like or just informing.
Doomsday. No, it's all doomsday. It's one of the great pastimes that I've enjoyed over the last, really since 2016 is when I started to really do this, is I watch MSNBC, flip to Fox, watch Fox, flip to MSNBC, and to hear their coverage of the exact same thing and how different they're being portrayed is truly remarkable television. It's just nothing. There's just nothing better. To see the panic and the end of the world, the end of days on one side, and the joy and the celebratory nature of the other side is just wild to watch. It's incredible.
And I'll admit, I can't turn it off.
It's amazing.
If we were talking about regular season political coverage, that's about a zero for me.
No, I'm not.
Literally zero.
I'm not. Well, I stay pretty dialed into like what's going on right now in the House and the Senate. And,
cool. Mine's
and
zero.
The big beautiful bill and things like that. Like there's a lot of stuff that I'm dialed in.
Well, I do know that there's an NCAA thing happening. I am aware of that.
That is accurate. Can confirm.
Don't know details on it. I do know there's a former college coach up there somewhere. May or may not have taken orders from him. But other than that, I'm not really into it at all. But that night, I don't care if the lead is 700 electoral votes or 7 electoral votes. I can't turn it off. Because we're talking about these counties in West Arizona that if, good Lord, somehow if he were to drop this, guys, you put a pot of coffee on, you're in for a long night. Oh, Billy, I don't see this one coming down until at least 3 a.m.
Well, I just
stay tuned.
I love when you're watching with some friends.
Sorry, Greg. I didn't catch on to that part until this year. That they consistently push you to how late you're going to find out when this is going to go. That they're doing it to keep us tuned in. I don't know why I didn't figure that out until this year. Because I was so tired. I wanted to go to bed. And I was like, these guys are just trying to keep us on watching TV.
Right.
They probably know who it is. I'm going to bed. Good night. Tell me in the morning.
7:02.
It's like the NBA draft. Just tell me who the teams that the people are going to. I don't have to sit there and watch all of it live.
I haven't watched it with like friends in a long time. Like I think the last election I watched with friends, it was me and a guy named Matt Slauson and like a handful of other guys in 2012.
Is he right there at the corner of Crenshaw?
In New Jersey.
Slauson?
No, you would have loved Slauson. He was a big old barrel-chested offensive lineman that played at Nebraska. He was hilarious.
Corn-fed, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah, big boy. No, he's actually from Oregon, but he played in Nebraska. But he's a big boy. It was like one of my best friends, and we went through a couple beers that night. It's Tuesday night. It's not wise. Big day on Wednesday. But anyways, lot of fun watching them. That's the last time I watched with somebody. I mean, it's been a long time. It's been 13, 14 years. So it's been a minute since I've done that.
I don't think I've ever even considered that.
What, watching the election
an
coverage?
election with another human?
Yeah.
Not my wife?
Yeah, I mean, well, we all lived in the Homewood Suites, so I had to literally walk 2 doors down, and there's Slaw Dog just going.
Greg Skipworth tweets in, Bandwagon fans, Masters, Wimbledon, Kentucky Derby. And Chris tweets in Masters and WrestleMania, which is a good one. I will say I kind of bandwagon WrestleMania a little bit now because I don't watch a lot of regular season wrestling. And WrestleMania, I at least want to know what's going on. Why should I be tuned in?
Yeah, I watch a little regular season wrestling, but not a ton. But now that Tess is on it, I watch a little more. Used to watch it on Friday night when SmackDown was on Friday night on Fox. I used to watch that some. So yeah, I mean, I've watched some regular season wrestling. So
Hamilton tweets in a GIF of curling, which I think is good.
Really good sport.
I don't know about that. Hold on a second.
It's a highly
you're
entertaining.
Wrong about that.
It's a highly entertaining sport. It is.
It makes for a cool conversation. It's not entertaining. For maybe 4 minutes, it is.
I would respectfully
First off, they
disagree.
take like 11 minutes between shots, and the shots take 7 minutes for the thing to get down there. It's not an entertaining watch. You cannot stop right now. You can say it's unique and you're interested to see how it operates. But after 4 shots, there's no way in hell you're watching that anymore. I know you. You're not.
I've definitely had it on.
You're not sitting there trying to see if China can backdoor so-and-so with a whatever they call their shots. I don't even know the name of one of the shots.
Canada's the best team.
Then why did they lose to us
Better
last
than
time?
Sweden? I don't know. Better than Iceland?
Not better than America.
Iceland's green. Greenland's covered in ice. You should know that if you watch Mighty Ducks.
It's been a minute.
Mighty Ducks 2.
There it is. I was going to let you slide.
D2. You knew what I meant.
Nobody thinks that that's a great watch.
It's a pretty good watch.
It isn't.
I'm not lying to you when I say that. I'm be honest with you, it's a pretty good watch.
I've been in since 06.
My wife
I'm pretty into
competitively vacuuming our kitchen is more intriguing than that.
You
What's
guys do competitive vacuuming?
Yeah.
I pretend like it is.
Oh, okay.
It's more interesting than that. Watching these guys broomstick ice rink.
Competitive paint drying?
Almost. Like I said, I'll tune in for a shot or two, and then after the 17 minutes of the 2 shots I watched, I realized they have 58 more shots. And I'm just like, you know what? Tell me who won.
I'll be honest with you, I get into it.
Nerd.
I do. I'm not even, you can call me a nerd. That's fine. I don't mind.
Have you ever done it?
Heck no.
I have.
We'll brag about it. Oh, we did it when we were doing the North Dakota State game.
It's not as cool as you think. I mean, it's like
It's hard, I bet.
super hard.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm intrigued by it.
Like, ooh, that one was only 7 feet short.
And they don't miss.
No.
They don't miss.
But it's not a great watch. It isn't.
I enjoy it.
Well, there we go. Greg, bandwagon curling fan.
Yes, but it kind of falls into the Olympic category. Like, there are some sports that I see only once every 4 years, and if they are on all the time, I wouldn't watch them. But when they're on only once every 4 years, I'm okay with watching a few games.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Are you okay with going to Bromberg's?
Yes, always. Bromberg's has been serving this community for nearly 200 years, and they have one-of-a-kind pieces of jewelry they need to go in and take advantage of. These are just really beautiful items, things that will last in your family for multiple generations in many cases, whether it's gold, silver, platinum, you name it, they got it. They also have beautiful bracelets, necklaces, all those things are there, and they all have incredible, incredible salespeople to help kind of put you in the right jewelry, the right direction, and help you make a difficult decision because their inventory is so incredible. It's hard to decide. They can help you out along the way. And right now it's wedding season. A lot of weddings coming up this season. If you're thinking about getting a gift for somebody, I would pretty much guarantee they're registered at Bromberg's. Go and check it out. They can get your gift there, and it'll be beautiful, whether it's china or crystal, whatever it may be. It is phenomenal. Bromberg's has those one-of-a-kind diamonds as well, but it's really the sales people and the sales staff that sets them apart. It's really that experience that you get going in the door and talking with the experts at Bromberg's. So go and see Bromberg's today in Mountain Brook Village and at the Summit.
All right, so all of this conversation on sporting events that are bandwagoned brings us to this. Will there even be a bandwagon audience for a sporting event that begins tonight? We'll discuss that next on Mac and Cube in the morning. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Dr. Rick tweeting into the show on our sporting events conversation at Mac and Cube. You can be a part. 7:30, 9 a.m. Thursday, June 5th. Jocks 94.5. Watch live on YouTube every day. Tell your home smart speaker to enable the Jock skill. Figured curling out in 2003 while in Ukraine, adopting our son. Only sport on. All commentary and graphics in Russian. Took days of watching it to figure out the rules. I enjoy watching it now.
Boom.
It probably helps a lot to know the intricacies of it, which I do not know. I'll be honest.
If it was in Russian, I don't know if I would enjoy it as much.
It would definitely take a little longer to learn.
I don't think I'd understand.
We were watching during the break. There was a softball play last night where one of the ladies was attempting to be walked.
Texas Tech was trying to walk one of the Texas hitters.
And they threw it over the plate and she hit it?
Yeah, well, I saw the first 3 pitches of the intentional walk attempt, and they were all over the plate. They were just a little high. And then the last one was kind of pretty dang close to the strike zone, and she hit it right between the third baseman and the shortstop for a 2-run RBI single.
Which took SportsCenter back to a replay of Miguel Cabrera doing that. What was that, like 03?
It said
so?
06.
06?
Yeah.
And Greg and I were just talking about Miguel Cabrera during the break, and he's like, what do you think his career earnings were? And then talked about how many years he played. He played 20 years, 03 to 23. I'll give you the first crack at it. Career earnings.
I'm going to say
Cabrera.
$400 million.
John?
Over.
Under by less than 7 million, actually.
Wow.
$393,188,685.
Unbelievable.
By the way, half of what Juan Soto will make.
Inflation.
No, think about that, though.
It's crazy.
How stupid that is.
That is unbelievable. What a great career.
Also, Miguel Cabrera's numbers. 306 lifetime hitter. Scored 1,551 runs. Drove in 1,881 runs. Slugged 518.
How many bombs?
511.
Wow.
And 3,174 hits. 3,500. There better not be a writer that's even debating whether that's a first ballot.
First ballot Hall of Famer. No question
Not
about
even
it.
a debate, but somebody out there will say, Marlins teams were awful.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Swung
He was a
intentional
liability.
walk pitches.
He was a liability on defense.
If there was no DH, would he be in the Hall of Fame? They'll come up with something.
Always.
So tonight at 7:30 on ABC, Greg, we get Pacers Thunder, NBA Finals.
Yes.
Some of you may just be learning that right now, right this very second. That's oftentimes we talk about Super Bowls, World Series. We'll talk finals with it too. Not getting a major market here. Ratings, I don't think people are going to step out on a limb and say this is going to break ratings records.
Far from it.
It also is not the end-all be-all of if a sport is good or an event's good or not. But usually events like the NBA Finals, like the World Series, like the World Cup, are going to draw extra people in because of some story around them, where the team plays, who's on the team, even just an individual, or maybe what they're up against. And there doesn't feel like a ton of that with this series right now. Now, obviously, two cool stories to even be able to be here.
For sure.
Specifically with Oklahoma City's multiple roster revamps over the last 8-9 years, and to be able to put this team together as quickly as they did and be as good as they are, that's cool, but that's not drawing in like my wife, your wife, regular people walking down the street that don't watch the NBA.
No.
It's not happening. But that might not just be a problem for this NBA Finals, GMAC, as far as are new people going to tune in for NBA games?
So NBA is traditionally driven by star players that are marketable and big market teams. So if you look at some of the most successful, outside of COVID, remove COVID year, if you look at some of the most successful NBA finals of all time, would have been, a game involving the Knicks, involving the Lakers, things of that nature. All right. In that case, you're looking at, 17 million, 18 million, 20 million in some cases as far as draw. Just so we have an understanding, Indiana and Oklahoma City are two of the smallest U.S. television markets for the NBA. The Indianapolis market is the 25th largest market in the country, and they are 23rd out of the 29 NBA teams. If you exclude Toronto, they are not considered, obviously, a U.S. market. Oklahoma City is 47th in the U.S. Here in Birmingham, we're 45th.
Whoa.
Granted, Birmingham, we also include Hoover. We also include Anniston, and we include Tuscaloosa. So we have a pretty wide stretch, but if you really take into account like Dallas-Fort Worth, our market size is not even close as far as square miles are concerned. But we're ahead of Oklahoma City in size, which is pretty amazing. Oklahoma City is third to last in the league. The only people they're ahead of are Memphis and New Orleans. So there's a lot of people that believe that this is going to be the least watched NBA Finals in the history of the NBA.
Before you continue, smallest NBA market per the ratings book would be what?
Memphis.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Memphis is the smallest. New Orleans would be second smallest. Oklahoma City would be third smallest, which basically means to me, NBA, we're open for business here in Birmingham. You know what I mean? We're here.
Let's go.
Let's ride.
Who do we want?
We'll take
Send the Bulls down.
We'll take the New York Knicks.
Of course.
Yeah. Madison Square Garden for the BJCC. Let's ride. We got action. Anyways.
Feels like the Orlando team would be a perfect fit.
Love that.
In the Magic City.
The least watched of all time is 9.29 million between the Spurs and the Cavs in 2007. Now,
when you say 9.29, is that where it peaked at any point in time in the series?
I think that was probably the average.
The average across the series?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I were to guess. And remember, this is broadcast television. So it's on ABC. That's a pretty dang small number. Just so you know. On ABC, you routinely have regular season college football games that are doing 12, 13, 14 million. Okay, it's not really all that uncommon. Getting a double digit is not that uncommon, whether it's on Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, what have you.
What does Sunday Night Football do every week? Like 17?
Between 18 and 20, I would bet. So double what the average would be for these series. This could be the least watched, which is unfortunate because you have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, fresh off an MVP, a star player, but the star player is not going to be enough to carry the series. I think Halliburton is right there in superstar status as well, but I'm not sure he moves the needle. The unfortunate thing with the NBA is all of the eggs in the proverbial basket have gone towards Steph and LeBron. And if those two guys aren't in it, it's not necessarily moving the needle as much as you would think it might, which is pretty dang wild. Conversely, what got us down this rabbit hole is if I were to tell you 10 years ago, that the NBA would be in 2025 on a significant decline as far as viewership and popularity. And those that actually with kind of stands up, believe it or not, over the course of the regular season, the numbers were putrid until the Lakers got going. And that was because once Luka got there, they started winning and the Lakers numbers started doing huge numbers. The Knicks were actually quite good, so they started doing big numbers. If not for those two teams playing really well, the numbers would not be what they even were, and they weren't good to begin with.
Right.
And this is not our roundabout way of ripping the NBA. It's more of just acknowledging like they got to figure something out here very soon, or else it could become problematic. But it takes.
How much has regular season NBA suffered?
Significant.
Recently.
Well, prior to Christmas Day this past year, the numbers were as bad as they've ever been. They were down double digits across the board year over year, which is concerning, extremely concerning. But moving forward, if I were to tell you 10 years ago, who would you bet on long term? NBA or MLB? Who would you have chosen?
NBA.
By a mile, right?
Yeah.
Not even close. Like, we're concerned about the watchability of the MLB, concerned about the long-term health of the MLB. We grew up as baseball fans, hoping to share that with our kids at some point. Well,
when did you ask the question of when we would make this decision?
10 years ago. So in
right before
2015.
Shohei too. I was going to say, like, what I'm thinking, what guys were there that we felt like could carry it for a few years.
Well, just so you know, MLB this year, Fox is up 10% year over year in the regular season. ESPN is up 22% year over year. In Japan, so international audience, which is what the NBA is now banking on.
A lot of it.
MLB viewership is up 22%. In Japan, they are averaging for regular season games 2.7 million viewers. In Japan. That means they're playing at what?
Like 3 in the morning.
8 in the morning? Like what time are they even playing?
That's wild to think about.
Insane. Obviously, we're fresh off, high profile Yankees Dodgers. So they have an immediate surge and a little bit of recency bias. But it's actually showing at the gate as well. Right now, MLB attendance is up 2% so far in the 2025 regular season. They're averaging nearly 28,000 attendees per game, which is truly remarkable. That's a big number. Really big number for regular season baseball here at the beginning of June.
So here's an interesting question I'll ask you. We'll think about this when we come back during the break. Who has better star power right now? NBA or MLB? We'll answer that next on Mac and Cube in the morning. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. 7:54 Thursday, January 5th, right here on Jocks 94.5.
Phil said Buick GMC is the GMC's Dealer of the Year, the national champion of GMC dealers, because they sell more GMCs than anyone in the entire Southeast multiple years in a row. And the reason why they sell more is because they have deals that can't be beat, like a GMC Sierra 1500 SLT 4x4 loaded with leather. $66,340 is the list price. You take $14,000 off the sticker, you get it for $52,340. No one else can match those deals. Their overhead is less, and they pass those savings on to you. That's why 75% of their business are repeat customers. It's because you have a better experience when you shop with Bill Smith. Take a short drive to Coleman. You'll see what I'm talking about. Go see Andy Cole. Go see Jonathan Yeager. You'll appreciate very much the experience that you have. And if you have a budget that is restrictive, no problem. The Used Car Super Center, they'll find a solution for you. So take the short drive to Coleman, I-65, exit 310, Highway 31, or you can also shop online, have it delivered right to your driveway at BillSmithBuick.GMC.com.
More star power. MLB or NBA? Just off the top, which did you have thought?
I would have said NBA,
John?
on a per capita basis.
I think it feels like NBA.
Some of this is going to be context and how you judge star power. So I just made a quick list during the break, and actually I did it by jersey sales from the last year. And I came up with what I believe to be legitimate superstars right now in their sports, and then a lot of guys that are sort of on the come that I think will be there very soon. I will say this. If you asked me to put my future earnings on one or the other the next 10 years, it's Major League Baseball.
Oh, yes.
It's not even close. LeBron, Steph, Giannis, would we say that's the top three in the NBA right now?
Yes.
Most popular?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
MLB, Shohei, Judge, Trout. Maybe take Trout, Harper. Maybe take Trout, Acuna. Either one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So top three are pretty close.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I went 6 for both sports. The next 3 in the NBA, Luka, John Morant, Kevin Durant. The next 3 in MLB would have been Harper, Acuna, Skeens. I think Skeens is already there.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
On the ones that are close, and these are on the top jersey sales list, Booker, Edwards, Gilgeous-Alexander, Brunson. I don't think that they're there just yet. They're getting there. They will be there, but not just yet. And some of these guys actually might never get there. Like, I don't know if Devin Booker ever really gets there. Baseball, Tatis Jr., Bobby Witt Jr., Juan Soto, Ellie De La Cruz.
Baseball there.
Because like Soto, I don't think he's ever going to get there. He doesn't have the personality for it. He's got the skills, but
pretty good.
he just doesn't have the personality, though.
Yeah.
But it's wild how close that was. We'll continue the conversation next. So as we continue the conversation, a couple other names I'll throw at you here in just a moment of star power, Major League Baseball or in the NBA. Which do you feel like is bigger, better now? Which do you feel like will be better in 5 years, 10 years? Which would you lean on? Which would you bank on? Which would you bet on moving forward? Before we continue that conversation, I don't know, maybe the polar bear, Pete Alonso, be on that list for Major League Baseball. He's not as good as Polar Bear Services, though.
No, Polar Bear Services is the very best. That's why Wes and the guys continue to grow and improve and expand. And I'm telling you, you call them right now, they can help you out in so many areas around your home. That's why I've enjoyed them the most, is when I have an issue, whether it's electrical, plumbing, heat, or air, I always call Polar Bear Services to get my system set. We got some severe weather coming up this weekend. It's a great time to be looking into those whole home generators, man. That's a great luxury to have, knowing that nothing's going to go chaotic in the event in which you lose power. They can install those for you, but the HVAC system is their bread and butter. They've been doing it the longest, and they will absolutely get things taken care of around your home. Our AC system was not working. Recently, they come out, realized that the evap coil has a little leak in it. They're now going to replace it. They actually checked it for warranty. They did all this stuff for me. It was so easy, and I greatly appreciate the service and experience I've had working with Polar Bear Services for a very long time now. So remember, if you have a problem with your electrical, plumbing, heat, or air, pick up the phone and call the Bears, 205-497-BEAR. It's 497-BEAR.
So the rest of the names in that top 20 list for Major League Baseball that we went through, Shohei, Freddie Freeman, Juan Soto, Mookie Betts, Aaron Judge, Francisco Lindor, Bryce Harper. By the way, Lindor at 6 is a little surprising. Altuve at 8, Acuna, Yamamoto, Kershaw, Tatis Jr., De La Cruz, Gunnar Henderson, Paul Skeens, Hernandez from the Dodgers, Corey Seager, Bobby Witt Jr., Anthony Volpe, Manny Machado. I don't think Volpe has the bat to be able to get there with some of these other guys. Here's maybe what's next in the NBA. Like Wembanyama would be a big one. If he's healthy and he plays, he's going to be a megastar. He just is. Anthony Edwards and John Morant have every ounce of ability to be able to get there. Will they? I think it's yet to be determined. It's not because of basketball. Jokic, has he hit his stardom ceiling?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think he's a great player. I don't think he's a guy that is like people are bending over backwards to go and watch.
Well, and part of that, I think part of him maybe not being the ultimate superstar is he doesn't want to be.
Yeah, he doesn't have any interest in it.
Care less about it. He wants to watch his horses on his like closed circuit TV, and that's it. He doesn't care about anything else. LaMelo Ball, Jaylen Brown. Those are your top 15 in the NBA. Other than the ones we mentioned, Luka Curry, LeBron, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brunson, and then Wembanyama, Edwards, Morant, Gilgeous-Alexander, Jokic.
Here's the challenge right now that the NBA, I think, is dealing with, that a lot of their biggest stars are stuck in smaller markets. And it is absolutely a league that is dependent on the big cities. I mean, that they are. I mean, no denying that. So, granted,
however,
we're talking
nice
about
to have your stars on smaller market teams when they're the ones that are going to keep playing.
Correct. But when Steph and LeBron retire, what do things look like? I mean, LeBron's close. I think Steph's probably close as well. They already have, blossoming empires beyond the basketball court already. So I don't think either one of them are long in the tooth as far as how much longer they're going to go. So let's look at it. You got SGA, who's in Oklahoma City. You have Anthony Edwards, who's in Minnesota. Doesn't move the needle. You have Giannis, who currently is in Milwaukee. Doesn't move the needle. You have Jokic in Denver. Doesn't move the needle. You have Wemby in San Antonio, who, I mean, they can move the needle and have, but
they're also a dynasty when they did.
Correct. They also had 4 stars that were fascinating to watch and a coach that moved the needle at the time. So, I mean, how many people right now can honestly call in and tell me the coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder?
I would have a better question of how many people could call in and give you 2 NBA coaches.
Popovich, Steve Kerr.
Popovich retired.
No, counts.
No, doesn't count. He's not an active coach.
Rick Carlisle, Steve Kerr, Tom Thibodeau.
But I don't think a lot of people walking down the street can give you those. Even those names.
I'm with you. That's what we do for a living.
They're rolling them every 3 years.
I get
it's insane.
Spoelstra. The guy for the Clippers. You know him. Clipper coach.
That guy.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the challenge
Soon to
right
be
now.
Jay Wright.
If you look, like, honestly, how watchable was Shohei Ohtani when he was on the Angels? I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just acknowledging that the Angels are a small fan base. He's now on the Dodgers and it's transcended baseball in general as far
It's
as
fair. I mean,
how consumable it is.
the Dodgers are going to be on Fox's weekly broadcast. They're going to make TBS's main broadcast during the week. They're going to be on Sunday Night Baseball. Angels aren't getting those spots as much.
No,
just not. And
absolutely
the weird
not.
thing is that a lot of people, I mean, think about what people say about Trout, right? You can never watch him. He's never on. Well, it's the same city,
Never in the
basically.
playoffs, whatever.
Same time zone. I mean, same area code. And one, like you just said, is overly watchable and people can go find on a regular basis, and the other one is just hidden in some
Correct.
cave somewhere.
If Aaron Judge played for the Minnesota Twins, would that be good for baseball?
I don't believe so.
No, I think that'd be bad for baseball. I think that's the challenge that the NBA is dealing with right now. Some of their best up-and-comers are on teams that are not widely consumable. Now, Jalen Brunson has really obviously come on with the New York Knicks.
If Jalen Brunson's doing what he's doing with the Hornets,
No.
is he anywhere near as popular?
Mm-mm. Not even close.
Fair point. Yeah. So
I mean,
I agree.
It's one guy when you have a guy like LeBron who's on the Cavs and there's a hometown feel. He's a once in a generation player. Arguably the
Just
best
like
player,
Zion, once in a generation player.
arguably the best player of all time. I'm not making that argument, but people do. Like, people will go to find LeBron. Like, Golden State wasn't anything before Steph Curry arrived, and they rip off 5 championships, and it's a different conversation. So I think has a lot. Like, why do you think Devin Booker's never going to get there? Because he plays on Phoenix. Like, okay, Charles Barkley is one thing. Charles Barkley, from a personality standpoint, transcended.
He made that in Philly first, though.
Sure, I know, but I still remember him as a son.
Okay, but he became an all-time great in Philadelphia.
I don't disagree with that, but I remember him as a son. So I think that's part of the problem, is that some of the best players are kind of buried on small market franchises, and I like that. We live in a small market. I'm kind of rooting for the little guy when it comes to the NBA. Like, I can't wait to watch Oklahoma City hopefully win the NBA championship.
I mean, I would rather see our Memphis Grizzlies.
That's fine.
We're an affiliate, Greg.
We got a rivalry with Memphis, Battle of the Bones. But seriously, I think that's something that I'm really concerned about as far as, and the other thing that concerns me a little bit too in the NBA and by the way, I want all sports to be consumable. I love sports. I want my kids to be into them. I want them to watch NBA. I want to watch MLB. I want to watch soccer. I don't care. I want to watch everything. I want to watch sports and not Bluey. All right. I want to watch sports and not YouTube. Like, I want to watch games and not, Rugrat reruns. Like, all right. I want to watch those things.
What about Double Dare reruns? It's kind of a sport.
It's true. Fair. Not athletic.
Competitors
but a sport.
Also, but kind of a sport.
So I want to watch sports. Like,
reruns.
we encourage any and all sports consumption. It's the only thing you're allowed to watch in our house during the week. You're allowed to watch sports. You cannot watch television shows. We're not watching Blaze and the Monster Machines for 4 hours. During the week, you
wait
watch
until your
sports.
kids figure out what time West Coast baseball games start.
Oh, they were watching
in a year or two, and they're going to be like, yeah, I know. I'm staying up. Game starts at 9:35.
Oh, our kids were up until 11:15 on Friday night watching Dodgers Yankees. All right, so
I don't even want it. For you, different. For me, Saturday would have been a complete waste.
It wasn't great. I mean, I didn't feel great the next day, but it was worth it because we got to see 2 reigning MVPs hit a home run in the first inning.
So you could have shut it down after that.
Yeah, probably could have, but good luck after you get them. They get you hooked like that.
I want to ask you guys this back and forth real quick, and then we're going to talk college football after our next break. Damien, if you're available, come in here because I want to get different opinions on this as far as which one you would lean to right now. I said top to bottom. Would you go MLB, NBA? I'm just going to ask, and maybe because we consume one more than the other, we will lean one direction or the other. If we agree that Shohei and LeBron are both number one in their sport, would we agree those are the biggest stars in their sports right now?
Yes.
Who's the bigger star?
LeBron.
Damien?
LeBron.
John?
America or worldwide?
Who's the bigger star?
Because I think it's Shohei.
Let me ask you this first, and I'm asking this honestly. Right this second, who's the bigger star, LeBron or Steph?
LeBron.
Yeah.
And because in my house, it ain't close. It's Steph. You give my two boys the option any day of the week, they will go watch Steph Curry. And walking out of school every day, you'll see 10 times more Steph Curry jerseys than you will LeBron jerseys. I just asked a question because of that. So I
still think it's LeBron.
I think it's LeBron, but I do think that in 3 to 5 years, it's going to be Ohtani. As long as he just keeps hitting. He doesn't have to pitch again. If he keeps hitting, it's going to be Ohtani.
I don't disagree with that.
You disagree with that?
No, I don't disagree with that.
Okay. Bigger star, Aaron Judge, Steph Curry.
Steph.
Yeah.
Steph.
Mike Trout, Giannis.
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 Bryce Harper, Luka Doncic.
Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper.
I think it's Luka.
I think it's Luka too. So that's a tie. Ronald Acuna, John Morant.
Acuna.
Yeah.
It's Acuna in my mind.
I was gonna say Ja.
You say Ja, but we lean Acuna.
Yeah.
Paul Skeens, Kevin Durant.
Durant.
Kevin
Right
Durant.
now it's
I mean,
Durant.
dude dominated the Olympics, so yeah, he's got some advantages there.
Year and a half.
Paul, you
it's
got your
probably
chance
Paul.
here at the World Baseball
Yeah.
Classic coming up, buddy. You can do it. Ellie De La Cruz, Devin Booker.
Ellie De La Cruz.
It's
Ellie.
not. It's not right now.
Ellie.
He's getting there. He really is getting there fast, but it's you can't tell me that if you went to Seattle today and asked 10 people on the street, you showed them pictures of both, who's going to be more recognized? It's Devin Booker.
If Ellie De La Cruz played for the Cubs, it'd be a different conversation.
If Devin Booker played for the Celtics, it would be a different conversation.
Correct. But he
But
doesn't.
they don't. So that's part of this. You just said the markets determine a lot of this. So, John?
If Devin Booker didn't date a Kardashian, would we be having
Nobody
this
would know.
conversation?
I've never even seen a picture of them together. That did nothing for him.
Do you know anything
As a matter
about?
of fact, I think it made more people dislike him.
Do you know anything about? No, being disliked is good.
Sometimes.
Being disliked
People dislike
increases
Diddy
your.
right now. Is that good for him?
Oh God, that's too soon.
That was. Woo.
Being disliked can be good in sports.
Absolutely.
LeBron is universally disliked by a gigantic generation of Jordan fans.
Yeah, that is true.
I think it's Booker.
Yeah.
Say Bear, getting us back on the rails.
Anthony Edwards, Fernando Tatis Jr.
Edwards.
Ooh, I'd say Tatis.
I think it's Tatis. A year ago, I think it would have been Edwards, but I think it's Tatis right now.
Now, imagine where he'd be without a full suspension for a year.
Thanks.
Bobby Witt Jr., Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Bobby Witt.
Not yet.
I say SGA.
I think
It's close.
Shea,
I think it's really close.
leans
But I think
How many
it's
people have
Alexander right
watched
now.
SGA this year?
You want to know where he has an advantage?
Who?
That stupid commercial.
He played college basketball at Kentucky, and I'm not kidding.
It's true, but no one remembers that.
It doesn't matter. Big Blue Nation's going to follow him no matter what. I
Don't
it's just-
disagree.
I think enough
I
people
don't
saw
know if the like
Bobby Witt Jr.'s dad played for the Rangers.
Which one, the New York Rangers or like, what are we talking about?
New York Rangers.
Enough people
I
saw
just-
Shea on those on AT&T commercials the
Yeah.
last two NCAA tournaments that may not follow the NBA that know Shea is.
All right, Chet Holmgren or,
Also,
or Shea Gilgeous-Alexander?
I don't know if like the Toledo Torpedoes fans are following Bobby Witt Jr. from his minor league days. We're going to lean the Alexander there just slightly.
I
right
think
now.
SGA gets that one.
Jalen
That's fair.
Brunson, Juan Soto Jr.
Juan Soto.
Soto.
I think it's by a mile.
It's not Brunson now, so it's Soto.
Man.
Brunson can get it, but he's not there now.
So if we did it that way, it would lean heavily NBA.
Correct.
But when we went through it in its totality, we all feel like it's extremely close. And I think
No,
we
I-
all lean that it's going to be Major League Baseball in 5 years.
I think in time, here's the problem I think with the NBA, and I kind of was saying this earlier. Like, I am a little concerned about how many, and this is not a negative because they have become so international, but a lot of the best players, at least in the last handful of years, have been international players. And we are not capable as Americans of relating to them as much as we are the guys that are grown up down the street. Like the guys that grew up in, hey, I'm from Dallas, Fort Worth. Like, it was awesome to watch Chris Bosh because he was from Dallas.
Yeah, DeMarcus Cousins played high school basketball in Mobile. Like, it was
Boogie
awesome.
Cousins from Mobile. Like there was a certain relatability.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how much I have in common with Jokic.
You both like horses?
I do like horses.
Yeah.
I bet on horses. He rides horses. Two different things.
Where would Wimby fit in this year if he would have finished this year and, say, averaged 23, 9, and 4 blocks a game? Is he above, right now, Juan Soto?
But
Yes.
there's
Bobby Witt Jr., yes.
the thing that's
Tatis, yes. Ellie, yes. Skeens, yes. Maybe not. I mean, we'd have to get to Acuna, Harper, Trout, Judge to start saying probably not.
The thing that's amazing about Wimby is there's obviously a language barrier, but he's you have to watch him because he's such a unicorn that it's I can't believe he's doing what it doesn't look normal.
Doesn't look
he looks
real.
like a creative player.
100%.
So I think he is by far the biggest star in the NBA in 5 years.
I don't think
it's close.
Too, I think he has low key the personality to do it.
I think so
I mean,
too.
the dude shows up in
I
Central
like
Park
him.
to play chess with random people.
Well, what's so amazing about Ohtani. There's a language barrier there, but everybody loves the guy. He doesn't speak English, but everybody loves the guy.
That actually might be good for him based on his antics around the base.
Perhaps
People might hate him. If
he might be a
actually knew what he was
huge jerk.
saying.
You don't even know.
You don't know.
He might really be a huge jerk. That's possible. But I think Wimby by far in 5 years is the biggest star in the NBA. I don't think it'll be close. I don't even care if he's in San Antonio or if he gets traded to the Lakers because they always seem to find a way to get the best players to the Lakers. I don't know how that happens. Luka was on the trade block for one team and one team only. Explain to me how that makes sense. But things happen in the NBA, and those big-time players seemingly always end up in big markets. What's been the conversation of the offseason for Giannis? Oh, will he be playing in Boston next year? Okay, I understand that might not be a realistic scenario, but there's buzz. And where there's smoke, there's fire. So if those stars can find their way to big markets with a universal following, the NBA will be back in a great position of strength.
The other advantage the NBA has is you can tell me if you would agree with this because I don't think it's close. You can rise to stardom faster in the NBA than any other sport.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think you have to win championships. I think that's the only way to rise to stardom in the NBA.
We just put Wimby up against Trout, Harper, Acuna, and Skeens.
He's not there yet.
He hasn't played a full season.
He's not there yet. He's not there yet at all.
Knocking on he's really close is what we're saying.
I think in order to become a superstar, you have to have longevity and it have to be part of a dynasty. Look at the best players of all time. NBA for pretty much more than just about any other sport besides playing quarterback in the NFL, you are defined by championships. Because you're one of 5 guys on the court. You have a tremendous impact on whether or not your team finds success. And Wimby has not necessarily been subject to criticism yet because his team was so bad that he went to, so nobody really cares. They're giving him the benefit of the doubt, and he's just such a phenomenal player to watch, such a phenomenal talent. But I think NBA, you are so dependent on having a couple championships under your belt before you start really, really getting into the superstardom category.
It can be done, though. Barkley, Iverson, you can get there without being on a dominant team that has a dynasty for a period of time. I just think you can become a mega star in the NBA faster than any other sport.
You can get there quick. Now, I don't know if you'll stay there or they may turn on you because look at someone like Luka or even Brunson. Luka's there. I think Brunson's about there. If Brunson were playing, he'd be right there. But they keep up like this. If they're not in the superstar, they'll get there. But eventually, if they don't win, people will turn on them.
Because I think college football kind of ruins that ability a lot of times. We know who they are.
Yeah.
And we love them or we hate them or they're good or they're bad.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of guys. I mean, we even knew who Brady was. Brady beat Alabama in a bowl game. We knew who he was. We didn't think he was going to be that. But rarely do guys show up in the NFL and they're like, hold on, from where? Played, huh?
Yeah.
Never heard of that guy. How many NBA guys do we watch in the draft and say, Wimba, huh? Don't know anything.
Well, we heard about him.
Drummond
We
Green?
heard about him,
Who's
but we
this
didn't
guy?
know what. I mean, it's a little different now with NIL. We're getting some guys stick around, but the guys who are sticking around for extra NIL are not going to go make a ton of money in the NBA. They're just not. Or else they would have already gone to the NBA. I mean, Cooper Flagg apparently made $28 million last year.
Yeah.
He ain't sticking around college for that even.
He's taking a pay cut.
So I just it's intriguing to kind of the back and forth of it. And maybe because you said it best earlier, Greg, 5 years ago, 8 years ago, where would we have put our money? There's not many people walking this earth that would have said, oh, I'll bet on Major League Baseball right now. That thing's heading in the right direction. Pitch clocks, green bases next to first base, runners on second and extra innings. They're killing this thing.
Yes.
They're literally throwing it down the drain. And
It's
now
crazy.
it looks like it's completely flipped over for the next whatever amount of years. And like you said, when LeBron and Steph go, somebody's got to grab that torch, man, and they got to be ready to run. Because Major League Baseball looks like they have Major League Baseball's guys are going to be there for a while longer, like Judge, Shohei, Trout. They can still play for a while. Skeen's going to play for a while. Acuna, if he doesn't rip another ACL, can play for a while. And then they got the next wave that looks like they're already on the doorstep. NBA, we'll see. They got some guys, but are they going to be able to get over the hump? It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be cool to see kind of how it goes over the next however many years. But all that said, the NBA finals start tonight, and none of the players other than one will be competing in that game.
What?
Superstars.
Gilgeous Alexander's the only guy we
he's
talked
on
about that's going to be playing
What
tonight.
about Halliburton?
He's not
Hater.
on this list. He's not.
You're such a hater.
There's no way you can make the case for him to be in the neighborhood of the guys that we just mentioned.
He did the choke thing to Spike Lee.
Great.
What more do you need? That's all it takes.
Win a slam dunk contest? Maybe that would be the next best topic for the show.
Mac McClung?
What makes you the most fraudulent superstar in sports? It's going to be tough to beat slam
Winning a
dunk
gold medal
contests,
without
man.
doing nothing?
Tyrese Halliburton.
What, you
Yeah.
talking about like Christian Laettner's gold medal?
More or less, yeah.
Huh?
He
He's
literally
got one.
He tweeted out, when you do a nothing on the group project, still get an A.
Still get an A.
No, Leitner played for Kentucky, and based on what he told me earlier, that's all you need.
Played for Duke.
Yeah,
And
other-
they'll
yeah,
follow him
other-
just as
hey,
close.
Same
Yeah.
thing.
Right,
Actually
yeah.
beat Kentucky.
That's what I meant.
With the
That's why they
See,
hate him.
it's okay to be hated.
Oh, he had a run where he was the most hated athlete maybe on earth. At least in this country.
I love him for that. I'm team hated team.
I got you.
Hate squad. That's why I'm on Halliburton's team.
I hated Laettner. When
Who
I was
didn't?
when I was
How
in
could
high
you
school,
not?
when I was in high school, Duke was the Bulls, the Cowboys. They were the Golden States.
The
They
Yankees.
were the LeBrons. No, because 90% of people in this state hate the Yankees, Greg. That's why I love them. I couldn't get on board with the team that tried to steal another team's slogan. Sorry, Ted, your team's not America's team. It's the Dallas Cowboys.
Wait, you
You
talking
can't
about,
just steal that.
talking about the Braves?
Oh, they were America's team, quote, for a while on the Superstation. Yeah, lies. People here bought it, though. Now they all root for them.
No, the Cubs are America's team.
No, it's the Dallas Cowboys because they did it first and they've carried it longer. That's what it is. Nobody else can say that. Except Ted Turner on the Superstation. I guess when it's your station and your
You can
team,
say it.
say whatever you want.
Fake news.
He should have hammered it more with just the Southeast team and just owned this region.
The SEC of baseball.
But,
That's what you should have done. But missed opportunities.
I mean, if we wanted to go biggest bandwagon to a team ever, that would be at the top of the list.
I'm not sure it's close.
No, it's not debatable.
Cowboys are right there. Maybe in your livelihood,
Right.
in your world,
But see, I don't think a lot of people become Cowboy fans later in life.
people
I think
become
you kind of love the Cowboys or you don't.
Correct.
It's this or that.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't see a lot of 35-year-olds who are like, you know what? No, Bills. I'm done. I'm a Cowboys fan.
Well, the other thing too is I actually think.
Oh, Cowboys drafted my guy. I'm gonna follow the Cowboys. You just don't hear that a lot.
Yeah, but you're also a Cowboy fan. If you're a Cowboy fan, you're watching regular season games. If you're a Braves fan, you might show up in August after they make it through the first round.
September.
I'll give some of these nerdy Braves fans credit. They'll sit on the porch and watch them.
Late July, they're locked in.
Well, what else are you watching?
Spencer Strider blows it again.
I'm telling you, I knew we shouldn't have gotten rid of Max Fried.
It does look good right now.
Dang Freddie Freeman, traitor.
Dang, Freddie's
He
a
don't
dang
love us.
traitor. That agent really messed us up.
Shouldn't have signed a California guy to begin with.
I knew it.
Yeah. So we'll
Chipper
see.
wouldn't have never let that happen.
No, he wouldn't.
Never, never.
Chipper wouldn't let Ronnie bat flip after a home run.
Chipper would make them wear their jerseys right.
His shoes would be tied.
This never happened when Smoltz was here.
All right, so there it is. Superstardom in sports right now. Kind of where it is, where it's going. That was a fun conversation. Cool talk. We'll get into college football when we come back because I apparently have made some people mad. Why? I'll tell you after this on Mac and Cube in the morning. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. 8:28, Thursday, June 5th, Jocks 94.5. Damian, stick around. This conversation may pertain to you just a little bit. A couple folks tweeting in. Mikey, very rich hearing a Yankees fan and a Dodgers fan call Braves fans a bandwagon group. Maybe to an extent, but those two take the cake in bandwagons. Which is why it happened for me, because I went to Fulton County Stadium with 300 people there multiple times. By God, 94, everybody had been a Braves fan their whole life. I don't need to relive it. I lived it.
I also grew up in Los Angeles and went to like literally 500 games from the time I was 1 until the time I was 10. So I think I have pretty good reason.
Good.
Golf and Moose tweets, and I love the show, but disrespect for the Braves is insane. Suffered through many poor seasons, even this one. I know a lot of folks locally that watch tons of Braves game. It's on every night in my house.
Chop on, baby.
I believe that.
You are the anomaly.
Did I not just say, he says that. I didn't say that. I said, I actually will credit Braves fans because they do sit around and watch. I know that.
Yeah.
I
Hell,
know.
we got one in this building.
He's one of 8 that I know that actually watch him.
Gives up his TV watching because he can't get it to join another network to be able to get it.
Dedication.
Hunter tweets in, Halliburton votes most overrated player in the league by his peers. Pretty good criteria for most fraudulent superstar.
I don't know.
When I went there, it wasn't most fraudulent superstar as far as what they do every day. Mine was more something you accomplish that puts you at superstar status.
That is like more
D.
fake.
Brown was not a great NBA player. Harold Miner was not a great NBA player. Zach LaVine is not a great NBA player. Mac McClung has not played in the NBA. Yet they are all mentioned in some realm of greatness. Jose Abreu is not a great home run hitter, but he hit 64, whatever it was in the first round when they changed the rules, and all of a sudden it's like, God, mighty Jose Abreu. He's getting first round Hall of Fame votes because he hit the gold ball into the river.
But Nate Robinson's a good NBA player because he won it 3 times.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
Short Kings. We're here.
I still think being a Pro Bowler in the
Yeah.
NFL is the most fraudulent accomplishment that you can have. Actually, you know what? I think college football might be the most fraudulent.
But no one hangs
all
their hat
SEC,
on Pro Bowls. Though.
all Big Ten, all ACC offensive line is the most fraudulent.
But who hangs their hat on that?
Oh,
Other than graphics departments.
we're on the watch list.
The watch list.
I got no time for it. It's all a popularity contest. It's all a popularity contest.
But it does feel like slam dunk contest puts you on a different pedestal immediately, no matter points per game, appearances in games.
Didn't you see
any of
Blake
it.
Griffin dunk over the Kia during the Kia
Dwight Howard wore
slam
cape.
dunk contest?
I mean, but that's it. Who won the home run derby last year? The year
Pete
before.
Alonso.
It's a great guess. I can't tell you. Don't know.
I bet you it's Pete Alonso.
No, I bet it wasn't.
No? You're out?
Give me one of the last 5 home run derby winners.
Pete Alonso has won it
Alonso.
twice.
Yeah.
But that was the last 5. I thought it was actually a little bit back before that.
Yeah. Couldn't tell you.
23, T-Mobile Park, Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Yeah.
22, Dodger Stadium, Juan Soto.
Yeah.
Coors Field, Pete Alonso, he cheated.
Oh.
2019, Pete Alonso.
Why? Because
Harper
he played
won
it.
at
Yeah,
some
because he
point.
played at Coors.
He
Harper
played at
won
Coors.
at 18
Okay,
at Nationals
sorry.
Park.
Okay.
He's going back home, John.
He's from Vegas, but he's
Aaron
going home.
Judge won it in Miami in 17.
Yeah, he did.
Probably got hurt
Stanton won it in 16. That's what started all the injuries.
That was the turning point.
I mean, you're literally making fun of it.
2014, Giannis Cespedes. 2015, Todd Frazier.
Oh yeah.
Footsteps Frazier?
Todd could literally deliver Coke to our vending machines, and I would agree with you. I would have said, yeah, Todd,
T.
absolutely.
Frazier, baby.
It's our guy.
I'm trying to figure out why you're ripping because you just listed off like 8 superstars.
No, Bobby Abreu, Ryan Howard didn't need it. He was
Ryan Howard was a
Hall of
superstar.
He's a dude.
Justin Morneau, superstar.
For the Twins in Minnesota, local guy.
Ugly swing.
Prince Fielder, superstar. Good player. Don't say he's not a superstar. He's not. Not.
Good
He
name.
was once a Huntsville star.
Really?
Absolutely.
I didn't know that. Where did he play at?
Played in Huntsville, played in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So, Giannis Cespedes. Cespedes won it twice, by the way.
Cespedes at one point was
He's also playing in Oakland. So,
Cespedes at
can
one
you
point.
become a
They don't
superstar
have
in
a team
Oakland?
anymore.
Cespedes at one point was like one of the best players in baseball.
You mean one of the best home run derbyers?
I'm pretty sure he was like legit, like an everyday guy.
Miguel Tejada.
Miguel
There
Tejada?
was a short second that he was next in line.
He also has
Garrett
an MVP.
Anderson.
You know how hard it is
That's
to
your
win.
boy.
You know how hard it is to win an MVP in Oakland.
Jason Giambi. Luis Gonzalez. Tell me when I get to the superstar. Tino Martinez.
He won a home run derby?
Hang on a
He
second.
did.
Hang on a
Wow.
second. Hang on a second. You listed off about 8 superstars dating from 2024 to 2015.
The only superstars I mentioned were Aaron
Giancarlo
Judge.
Stanton, Aaron Judge, Bryce Harper.
I will not give you
Soto.
Giancarlo Stanton superstar status. You have to appear in more than 50 games a year.
Wow.
Actually, you know what? More than 20.
So he's the Kawhi
How about
Leonard
hit
of
40
baseball.
bombs a few times?
Probably.
Is he the look how big of baseball?
1,000%.
Look how strong.
Look how jacked.
Just stiff.
Look how oppo.
Look how oppo.
I would love to see Giancarlo Stanton's per game salary.
Probably something outrageous.
He's breaded.
Yeah.
I remember
Who
when he
makes
was Mike
more-
Stanton.
Who makes more per game? Serious question. Joel Embiid or Giancarlo Stanton?
Joel Embiid,
Joel
but it's
Embiid.
not by much. Joel Embiid takes the cake.
Man.
Actually, you know what? There's few others entering the conversation though.
Oh, no doubt.
Zion,
Oh, ooh.
Especially when you're
who's the clown that went to
Paul
LSU?
George.
Who was the clown that went to LSU?
Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons.
I don't think it's all his fault.
It's a lot of it his fault.
Do you think Zion's going to be like Christian McCaffrey? As soon as he gets traded somewhere, all of a sudden he doesn't get hurt.
Christian McCaffrey works
know.
out.
Christian McCaffrey's in shape.
Yeah, Zion does too.
Well, Aaron Rodgers doesn't work
Mm.
out, and yet he's still kicking around. So
Christian
maybe not
McCaffrey,
working
I
out.
think, got a little bit of a bad rap for his injury history. I mean, he had like 2 seasons in Carolina that were a
It's
little
like
banged up.
300 touches a season.
Yeah, and the guy
Right.
literally, he was like a one-man show. Like the guy has not necessarily been like limited as far as touches. Like
No,
he
no,
might have
no.
missed a few
It's
games.
just
with
a
some-
workload.
It just
That
felt like
dude's a
James
monster.
Harden. Like as soon as he left, it's like, oh, my knees don't hurt no more. Oh, I'm good. Go right to San Francisco. Then, granted, of course, he gets hurt this year, but
All right.
He's a beast.
We'll finish this conversation. There's more to it, but I told you earlier that some folks are mad at me, Greg, and I
Oh, boy.
need you helping me out with it. So we'll move on to that. But if you're moving out of your home, who do you need to call?
Be Crocker Moving Service, a local company owned by an Iraq War veteran, Eric Crocker. Crocker believes in hiring movers you can trust to complete full background checks and run drug tests on every single employee. These are good guys. And you can trust them in your home. They need your whole home packed up, move your company headquarters, move across country, or you just want them to come rearrange your living room. These guys got you covered. They also do deliveries for furniture that you purchase need to get to your home. So call visit them online today for a free quote. The website's crockermovingservices.com. That's crockermovingservices.com. Support your veterans by choosing Crocker Moving Services for your next move.
A top 5 list that has people angry. We discuss it next. Mac and Cube in the morning. Garrett Anderson tweeting into the show at Mac and Cube. Thanks for the shout out at Cole Cubelic on the baseball list. May not be a superstar, but I left it all on the field. Yes, you did. There was a minute when he was he's next King Griffey Jr.
He what?
Next King Griffey Jr. Didn't quite make it there. Greg Skipworth tweets in, Braves winning one World Series in the 90s was the biggest waste of talent next to Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills losing those Super Bowls. God, they had some dudes. Thurman Thomas, Hall of Famer. Andre Reed, Hall of Famer.
Jim Kelly, Hall of Famer.
Jim Kelly, Hall of Famer.
Don Beebe, Hall of Famer.
Bruce Smith, Hall of Famer. Cornelius Bennett, Fringe Hall of Famer. Kent Hull probably should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, dude, those teams were loaded.
But it's a one-game season. It's not like it's wasted.
He went to 4 straight Super Bowls. That's pretty amazing.
It's incredible. I don't know if it'll ever be replicated. I mean, that's crazy.
Like you said, like Steve Tasker was great. Don Beebe was great. You had Daryl Talley on those teams.
How many Super Bowls have the Chiefs been to recently? They haven't been 4 in a row. 3 out of 4?
I think 3 out of 4.
4 out of 5?
I think 4 out of 5.
Yeah. They've been to a bunch.
All right, so we were going to go into the top 5 wide receiver rooms in the SEC. And then, as usually happens here on the show, we find out something during the break that we need to discuss.
Oh, boy.
5 out of 6, actually.
5 out of 6. There you go.
So does that include 3? That includes 3 in a row because they went for a 3-piece. They had to go 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you played the trumpet or the saxophone?
I played the saxophone.
Sax. We determined that.
Yeah.
First chair.
Yeah.
Saxophone.
Duh.
I would need to know what that means
May first or last.
before I would remember it.
It's all band basically, like all SEC. He was all band. Basically.
You are also in your high school Hall of Fame.
For the power clean.
No, for everything. He holds a power clean record.
That's what it is.
Different,
That's
right.
what it was. That's what it was.
Multiple keys to a city.
Has the key to the city there and Gadsden. Which,
Yes.
How Yellow Wolf doesn't have one and you have one, I have no idea.
Gaston guy.
And now, after all of that, first chair saxophone, Hall of Famer, key to city, power clean record. We find out that you pole vaulted in high school
9th grade, yeah.
and made it.
Yeah.
So there was an event at Soho, downtown Homewood, right there in front of Soho Social, Soho Taco in between there. They did like a pole vaulting event. It was called like Vulcan, pole over Vulcan or something. I can't remember what it was. We
Really?
stumbled upon it on accident and we watched it for like an hour because it was just random people. Like they did the hard ones and then some people were doing the easy ones. But it was crazy just to watch it in person.
Yeah, it's wild.
And all I kept thinking about was the first time you really try.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you go through all the technique. This is what you got to do, your grip. This is how you got to leverage. Well, but there comes that time when
You got to go.
now you got to try to make it.
You got to commit.
And there's a chance you're not going to go over the thing and you're going to fall back this way. And who knows what happens then.
Yeah.
So I need to know about the first actual
Well, you rep
Attempt.
it. You rep it a million times. Like you get your steps, so it's all step counted, like all things. Like it's just like long jump, triple jump, what have you. You know your steps. You kind of find the tempo. And by the time you hit the pit, you're full speed. But you rep it 100 times, and you slowly take the pole from bottom all the way to top, and you want your arms to be completely straight by the time you set it. You do that a million times before you actually vault yourself over. To be honest with you, like I was not at the time strong enough, nor was I flexible enough, nor did I weigh enough to really bend the pole. The pole is all based on your weight. So some poles are up to 140 pounds, 150, 160, 165. And the Olympic pole vaulters, the college pole vaulters, they're like custom made to the ounce so that they can bend the pole appropriately. So yeah, I pole vaulted in 9th grade because I did that, the 400 and the 200, and it kind of worked out in the meet and the schedule that where you could do all 3. I enjoyed it. I thought it was like an upper body workout too. I was like, this is great. I get the conditioning and the strength training as well. And it's honestly, it's not as difficult as you think when you're
appears
going
to be
after
really difficult.
when you're going after 10, 11 feet, which is all we were doing in 9th grade. It was not outrageous. Now you get up to varsity and you're going for 14, 15, 16, 17 feet. It's a different animal because now you're bending the pole backwards. You're literally upside down before you
Yeah.
kind of turn it over.
So how did the first real attempt go?
I mean, the first real attempt, I'm sure I missed. They put a bungee cord across the pole, and obviously that's a lot more forgiving. But you kind of just figure out a way to kind of get your body up and over. You kind of just flip. And as a male, we talked about it earlier, like when I watch the females do it, it blows my mind because there's a certain like perfection with how they can bend backwards. The men can just often overpower it. You know what I mean? Like they're strong enough where they can just kind of push themselves over the pole and then find themselves on the other side. Now the Olympic level is a different level, but the ladies always blew my mind because it was like a finesse technique and like a timing technique where you kind of lag the pole perfectly and then it kind of shoots you over the top. We actually had a pole vaulter that I was in class with named Kristen Keith, who since has worked with ESPN some, and she went on to pole vault at Arkansas. And Arkansas track and field, amazing. She was unbelievable, like unbelievable. And could do, hit 13, 14, 15, no problem whatsoever. It was wild to watch, but it's really a fun activity. It's hard, but it's fun.
So my next question is based on a couple of the parents that were there that we ended up talking to about their kids getting into it.
Yeah.
And then seeing some of because there were high school kids, college kids that were all there, seeing some of the kids that participated. Did you ride around town with your pole on top of your vehicle?
No, our poles were on the bus right down the middle because
there were a couple participants that left with like their Volkswagen Jetta and the pole was like tied to the top of their car.
That's hilarious. No.
Had to ride around.
No.
Saw it multiple times.
No. That was not the case.
That's dedication right there.
We were on the bus. We rode to and from track meets as a team. And the pole was right down the middle of the bus.
It's got to get there though. And if you're on your own,
you got to do what you got to
do. Roll out.
Yeah, I mean, you're not driving. You're not renting a school bus to go take your pole. It's honestly a pretty fun activity. I might like to see you try it.
I can't imagine a coach coming to me, 9th grade, 8th grade, whatever, and say, "Hey, I'm gonna get you involved here.
Why don't you try this?" Like it was kind of one of those things. Like I wanted to do track. I wanted to do a field activity, and I tried high jump. I didn't really like it. I wasn't really flexible enough, and I didn't have the hops to do high jump, and that's really a lot of technique, and my back didn't bend well enough to do it. I wasn't strong enough to throw the shot. Wasn't good enough to do the disc. We didn't have javelin. So you wanted to do
hammer.
We didn't have the hammer. Those are really dangerous.
Feels fun, though.
It does look fun. I think all those activities would have been super fun, but that was about the only one I could do in the field.
Okay.
Man.
Gotcha.
Wasn't high jump, wasn't long jump, wasn't triple jump. We've already talked about that. So pole was about the only thing I could do, and it was good.
Bro, like the more we learn about you, you're sneaky athletic, dog. Like you really got some juice to you.
And smart.
I take that as a compliment, I suppose.
It's all love.
Well-rounded athleticism, I believe in. I'm a believer in that. Trying
you
unique
really
things. You got to find something to do.
Yeah.
Like baseball pole vault 200, 400 was an interesting spring quartet.
Right.
It was a really interesting spring quartet. But yeah, it was good. It was fun.
Yeah.
I asked our baseball coach in high school if I could play tennis too, but only go to the meets. He was like,
"How'd that go?"
No.
You asked your baseball coach that?
Yes, and he actually said,
"Why would you ask the baseball coach if you could play tennis?"
Because I needed to know if I could at least get away from our practices first.
Oh.
And his response was, "You're not going to go participate and compete in events only. I'm not letting you do that."
Why?
Because he's like, if you're not going to practice and be a part of the team, you're not going to go compete.
Good. No practice, no play.
I respected it, though.
Completely. Baseball practice.
And then Hal Baird
practice.
asked me to walk on the baseball team at Auburn and just be an extra hitter, DH, and pinch hitter, DH. And when I went and presented that to Rick Trickett,
I'm sure that went well.
Very surprisingly, his response was, "That's great. I can't believe that." I was like, "Yeah, it's a cool opportunity." I was like, "I won't miss much. I'm not like, it's not a big risk. I'm not playing outfield or first base or anything." He said, "Man, that's great. That's great, Cube." All right. Now get 3 steps out of his office. And he says, "Hey, Cubelic." Turn around and walk back in. He said, "You going to do it? You really going to do it? You going to go out there?" I said, "Coach, I just feel like it's a good opportunity." I mean, which, by the way, the previous year, they were in the College World Series.
Yeah.
Had Tim Hudson. I mean, they were legit. He goes, "Well, if you do, don't effing come back."
So you're supportive, Coach?
See you tomorrow at practice, Coach.
We'll be there.
I knew who paid for school. And we will be back after this.
Thanks, Cole. What I want to do today is talk about the foundation of retirement planning, which is income planning. And what income planning boils down to is how are you going to replace the income that you need in retirement once your paychecks stop? First, we have to figure out exactly how much are you going to need from your savings and investments. We need to start with how much is going out the door, and then exactly what can you expect from sources of income like Social Security and pension. And then the conversation shifts to what are the strategies that you can employ to ensure that you don't run out of income in retirement. All of these are things that we cover in detail in our Retire with Freedom course that we teach in our office on Valleydale Road. If you would like to get signed up for that, text JOX, J-O-X, to 205-988-0006. That's 988-0006.
This is a paid placement. Investment advisory services are made available through AE Wealth Management. For more information about Forbes rankings, visit Forbes.com.
Grant tweeting into the show, Vulcan Vault. That's it.
Oh, that's the name of it.
He said Chris Spear puts on a great event each year. It's moving to the Pelham Civic Complex this year. Per my wife, that might as well be in Taiwan. So we probably won't be making it.
It does sometimes feel like Vince and the boys have asked to go ice skating a couple times. So we've gone down there to the ice skating rink.
Does your wife say the same thing? She goes, Pelham?
No, she's supportive. But there are
I
times.
asked her to go eat at Baumhauer's one afternoon. She's like, all the way over there?
It's literally
like,
8 minutes away.
The Waze says 4.5 minutes.
I mean, it does
it's
feel
amazing how bubbled we are.
It does feel like
ridiculous.
sometimes like loading up the kids is a big activity. Putting on ice skates a huge activity. Skating around the rink, knowing that they can't skate, so it means you're skating with them.
Not busting your head open.
Yeah.
It's a huge activity.
Other big activity. There are just big hurdles. But Baumhauer's would not be prohibitive. I think we could probably make that
make
work.
that work.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just sounds like those old Pace Picante, New York City.
That's exactly
You know,
what Vestavia Hills. I was like, I drive by it all the time. It's right there. It's not that far.
No.
And then she complains that we have like a 4-restaurant rotation that we can't get away from. Your geographical circle is half a mile.
Alabaster.
Unless it's walkable, we're probably not going.
I mean, it is But like Greg was saying, it's like then she'll turn. We got to get all the kids in there. They got to get their shoes on. We got to get them in. We got to get them
Get
buckled.
their
We gotta
shoes
go.
on.
What is it? I'm like, all right, fine.
Get their shoes on.
Taco Mama again. God.
Soon it'll be Edgewood. Whoa.
Where's New York pizza when we need it?
It's amazing.
Gosh. Does feel that way though. You're
And
100% right.
You oftentimes leave here and go to Costco,
Yes.
and she will have that. We don't go a ton, probably like once a month, and she had. I really need to go to Costco, but God, Costco is a Galleria.
16
Like, there's
minutes.
an interstate that goes right to it. It's not 52 traffic lights on the way
No.
there.
It's literally 16 minutes away.
Unbelievable.
Why does it fool you that the parking lot's full as anything? You
Every
walk inside,
single
4 people.
time. You talk about if we had a top 5 battles for parking spaces at places, that might be number 1.
It's up there.
People will cut you off.
Yep.
They'll throw their cart in front of you. And like you said, there's never anybody in there. And then you get back in line to
Yep.
buy your stuff,
Yep.
and there's 1,000 people.
Oh, there they
there.
are. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Wimp Sanderson coming up next on Jocks 94.5. All right, welcome back in. Hour number 3, McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Before we move on, as the show probably did hit the floor in our last hour, Greg, tell our listeners about Shannara Flooring.
Well, Fu and his company have been built on a foundation of integrity and trust. You can trust them in your home. They're going to take great care of your home, and you'll be really appreciative of the experience that you have when you go with Fu and his company. And right now is a perfect time to go with Shannara Flooring because the 40,000 square feet of Core-Tech flooring that they have in stock right now, you can get $5 off per box when you order it from Shannara Flooring. This Core-Tech's 100% waterproof, pet-proof. It's super durable. Right now, you might have some carpet. You want to upgrade to hardwoods. Now is the time to do it. Sky's the limit on what you could save. You can get 15% off flooring now. July 2nd, that's when it ends. So you have a little under a month to take advantage. The saving starts at $150, and they only go up from there. 12 months financing with approved credit. You can see it all online at fooandyou.com.
He joins us each and every week thanks to our friends at Coke and Piggly Wiggly. It's the coach, Wimp Sanderson.
Well, I hadn't stood very tall, but I faced most of it. I want to ask you this not ask you. I'm not a really NBA guy, so I can't talk much about it. Are you excited that your Auburn Tigers have a shot to go to the College World Series?
Absolutely. I went to Omaha a couple years ago when they were there. Awesome experience. Cool to actually do it, knock it out, get off the bucket list. So, yeah, I think Butch is coming up right after you on the show. I think they got a great chance to make a run. It's cool.
Yeah, I think they've gone from a struggling team last year to Coastal Carolina, who's Coastal Carolina has won more games than anybody in the division. 54 and 11, something like that. The league's not quite as good, but sometimes when you play bad name, good team, it's scary for you. And of course, pitching that's a big factor in short series. And Auburn I have a grandson. It's signed with Auburn. I hope he gets to go. So it should be interesting to see what happens there. It's a 8:00 game tomorrow and 2:00 game on Saturday, and maybe a game on Sunday. One thing for sure, we have one team going at least. Tennessee plays Arkansas to see who goes. The 13 teams that we have, represent the SEC. Not many of them got to go. Not getting to go, but still, Auburn is playing well, and I'm glad he's going to be on, and I know they're going to do well out there.
Well, it's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. I'm excited about it. The only thing I'm not excited about is an 8:00 first pitch tomorrow night.
Yeah.
It'd be good.
Well, we were talking about taking the boys down there because I'm just like, I can't do a 7-year-old and 5-year-old 8:00 first pitch out of town. Sorry.
It's dicey.
That's not a real thing.
Tough one. Coach,
Go ahead. No,
we asked a question earlier. The biggest bandwagon events in American athletics. We came to a few conclusions. I mean, events that nobody really watches regularly or few people watch regularly, but all of a sudden this event starts and most of the community is all in. Do you have some that might come to mind?
Oh, no. I mean, that's a great question. I don't have a great answer. No, I started to say the World Series, but everybody, I guess, watches that to some degree, according to who's playing. Indianapolis 500 comes to mind. Some people just live by that, and it's a big event, but nobody really, unless you're a really race car guy, appreciates it. I'm not doing a very good job with you.
Well, that's why we brought it up. We just wanted to get different thoughts on it. We had actually somebody texted in and said the election, which I do feel like was probably the best answer that we got because no matter how much you talk about it, live it, breathe it, love it, don't like it, everybody feels like all of a sudden they're an expert on that night.
Well, what happens to you with elections is this: we're living in a world of money, and the person that's running for a seat, if he raises the most money, he has a better shot to win an election. Tommy Tuberville will walk off the governor's race; won't even be close. You open up your thing and look at the $10,000 donations that he's gotten, 10 or 12 of them. I forget how many of them, and he's going to walk away with it. And the raising of money makes your basketball and football teams better. The raising of money is a total difference. I don't know how good you are. Sometimes you'll lose, but the raising of money by the people that are in Washington now. She's done a nice job. Is the real key in being successful. So that's where we are. I don't know. We try to judge coaches by how good or bad they are, by how many players they buy. Should we do it that way? Are they that good or do we want to give them credit for selecting the right people? Where are we with that?
What do you get out of them, though, when you get them, regardless of what you paid for them? When we were talking about Zion Williamson, Joel Embiid, and Giancarlo Stanton earlier, those guys are all incredible. They also don't play a lot. So you can get them and pay them a bunch, but what do you get out of them? So I think that also has to be a part of the discussion.
Well, I think it does. I just think it's we're in a money world. We're not in a world where I was, which was $15 a month, $7.50 every 2 weeks for athletics. You laugh at that, and so that world has totally changed, and our world has changed in so many ways, and money is big. Both of you tell me. I would say if you go by numbers of quarterbacks, Alabama's got 3 and Auburn's got 2. I don't know if that's right. Y'all may have already decided that yourselves, but tell our listeners and tell me where Alabama and Auburn stand with the offensive line.
We actually talked about it. It was something we were going to bring up earlier on the show. Was a top 5 list of mine that came out that people didn't like, and I did offensive line a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I knew you did, but I want to hear it again because I don't know.
Well, I think Auburn's got a chance to be pretty good. I'm not saying that they're the best in the league or the best in the nation right now, but they have a chance to be a lot better. Connor Lew, I do feel like has a chance to be one of the better centers in the SEC. I think he's a really good football player, and he has 2 guys next to him at guard that have both played with him in Dylan Wade and Jeremiah Wright. And I think the tackles that you got, Xavier Chaplin and Mason Murphy, are better than what you had last year. And you have a couple of guys back at tackle that played for you a little bit last year that give you some depth. So I think all that said, they have a chance to be pretty sporty there.
Well, I think that's big. And I don't particularly like their schedule, but I think the offensive line is something I didn't know about. And you sound like it's going to be okay.
I think it'll be fine. I think Bama's has a chance to be fine also. Parker Brailsford's great. I might have him as my number 1 center in the SEC going into the year right now. Caden Proctor's played a lot of football, hadn't gone through any spring practice, but he's played a lot of football, and he's been good at times. Cam Dewberry, if he gets in shape, can be good. Transfer from Texas A&M. Jaden Roberts been great when healthy, and you figure right tackle out. So, I don't know. I think Greg's pretty much on board with me that both these offensive lines have a chance to be better than people think.
Greg, I know that I don't know how much you keep up with it now. You do a good job keeping up with most of that stuff. Did you really keep up with the offensive line when you were playing? I mean, were you close to them? Were you buddies with them? Were you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
A lot of those guys were some of my best friends. I played golf yesterday with one of my offensive linemen from college. I mean,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, those usually the quarterback and the offensive line. That's usually a pretty close knit group.
Well, I think it would be. I think the offensive line people, I've said this 50 times on the show, not because Cole's on the show, but I just think it's a situation where you get less credit than anything you do. I don't know why you want to be an offensive lineman. Maybe if you're looking for credit, you can't be one. So I don't know.
We don't need credit, Coach.
Huh?
We don't need credit.
Alabama is picked to win 9.6 games or something. Both of you tell me, with the quarterbacks that they have, with the one that has gone against defenses in practice more than the other 2. The other 2 are as athletic as the first one, maybe more so. But your guy who's probably going to start is gone through and suffered through the pulling his uniform off without playing game after game after game. Where do you feel like that? And does the transfer portal come in? I'm asking 2 or 3 things to both of you. does the transfer portal worry you or come into effect if you have a couple of guys who are not playing as much when you've got three quarterbacks?
I think if you have multiple quarterbacks that are capable on your roster, coach, the transfer portal is always in play.
Yep, I do too.
I mean, literally always. Just because they're wanted, they're needed. Look at what Kirby Smart has been doing at Georgia. I mean, he's got a starter, and he still go out and collects them. I mean, it's you can never have enough. And then the hard part about that is we've talked about multiple players on this show, Greg, that were starters somewhere that are going to be third string, second string guys with no NIL money, coach. So, yeah, if you got multiple quarterbacks, it's a blessing and a curse in a lot of ways.
No doubt. I think it's regardless of the position, if you have too many and guys want to play, then you're always mindful of what could transpire in the transfer portal.
Ooh, are you? Boy, you're dead on it there.
No doubt.
Gotta be. Well, Coach, we appreciate you hopping on with us today. It's always fun having you on. And we know each and every week you're brought to us by Coke and Piggly Wiggly.
Coke and Piggly Wiggly. Go in and get you some Coke at Piggly Wiggly. And Piggly Wiggly's got great vegetables, great meats. Stanley and Andy have been friends of mine for a long time. I think Piggly Wiggly, the stores that they have in the Birmingham area and in your listing area are great. And appreciate Coke and Piggly Wiggly having me on. Hope you guys have a good day.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach. All right, that's the Coach Wimp Sanderson joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline, talking a couple of different things. Speaking of basketball, there was one question with our discussion, NBA, MLB, I wanted to ask you guys earlier. What was the first year you think Luka Doncic played in the NBA?
17?
I'd say 18.
So 5 years ago.
It'd be 7 years ago.
The 18-19 season was his first season in the NBA.
Yeah, so we both overshot it. It's pretty crazy.
It just feels like he's been playing more than 9 years or 7 years.
He's been around for a minute, feels like.
It feels like he's been around for a long
It
time.
does. It does feel like he has. You're right.
He's, quote, only 26.
Been playing pro basketball for like 13 years.
It's just wild.
Crazy.
Almost Zion size.
Yeah, one of the things we didn't bring up so earlier in the show, wanted to kind of try to get to. All right, we got Butch Thompson, Auburn baseball coach, coming up with us. I mentioned that 8 o'clock start down in Auburn, just going to be absolutely brutal. Taking on Coastal Carolina, 51-11, fourth super regional in program history. Going to bring a pretty good baseball team to the Plains. Coach Thompson will tell us what the complications will be, but also what advantage that home crowd is going to offer. Game Day Men's Health can offer you advantages. If you are lacking sleep, lacking energy, feel on edge, Game Day Men's Health wants to help you today, and they can do it like this. It's easy. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com, sign up for the free consultation today. You get a free PSA test, free testosterone test. Keep in mind, all this is free so far. You know where your baseline health is, then they'll give you different options they can help you with. Maybe it's testosterone replacement. Maybe it's peptides. Maybe it's a weight loss program. They have all those in stock to be able to help you today. Locker room environment, great people, holistic approach to health and wellness. Let Game Day Men's Health help you. And keep in mind, minimal upfront costs from the programs they offer, including 10% off any service by mentioning Mac and Cube when you walk in the front door. It's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Go visit, sign up for that free consultation today. All right, when we come back, we will talk a little college baseball. Get Butch Thompson's thoughts on the Coastal Carolina team that he will be facing off against this weekend. That's next on McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Excited to bring on Butch Thompson again. I'm going to have to just continue having him as this Auburn run continues. Spoke to him last week. Got him back on the phones now as Auburn set to host a super regional for the first time. Butch Thompson at the head of that team, and it's one coach that did a lot of things well this past weekend. Was there one aspect of your team that maybe stuck out more than the others that went out of its way to please you, that you were most happy with or maybe a little bit surprised about? Coach, we got you?
Yeah, you got me. Yep.
What did you like most about – good morning. Appreciate you joining us. What did you like most about what your team did last weekend?
Winning. Winning the game. The guys can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We got you. You're good.
Okay. All right. The atmosphere was amazing. You know, the renovations to Plainsman Park were awesome. We could tell our fans willed us through some moments of those ball games. Our first two games were tight, close, and that's what you get when you play in the postseason against competitive teams. Central Connecticut, their offense was amazing, their two-strike approach. Same with Stetson. That was a great ball club. Did an amazing job. But at the end of the day, I guess our defense, I feel like our defense can match up with anybody in America. That was consistent. Our offense absolutely played for 3 days. The MVP of our regional, Bub Terrell, a freshman, had 3 hits, and then 4 hits. But really, our offense played top to bottom. Mike Irish was amazing. Chris Rembert, another one of our freshmen, had 4 hits in game 3. And then, you know, we were good in every phase. Our pitchers did a nice job as well. Carson Myers, the first game, threw 6 innings for us in relief of a slow start and did a great job. Sam Dutton, who's been our most consistent starter of the year, that 1-0 game, that winner's bracket game against Stetson that was a handful, he absolutely gave us a great start. Ryan Hetzler, Cal Baptist transfer, just has finished games probably better than anybody on our staff this year, did it again for us. And then we got a great start, you know, a 5-inning start out of Andreas Alvarez, a true freshman, in game 3. And then Cade Fisher absolutely got us to the finish line. And to only throw 7 guys in a regional for 3 games is another positive. So we're pretty good in all 3 phases. And I guess the deal for us is how consistent can we be for another week.
Couldn't you tell us a little bit more about Bub Terrell? Because when I came to see you guys at the SEC tournament, I had not been able to get to a regular season game, and I was a little bit closer than normal. I didn't know this kid was this big, number one. Are you having to fight off Hugh Freeze trying to get him at tight end or something? I mean, this dude is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's athletic enough that he would be able to do some multiple things. I don't think there's any doubt about that. He was from over in Meridian, Mississippi, and he transferred actually to Thompson High School for his senior year. And because of that body and that frame and these talents that he does possess, you know, he wound up being a draft pick. And so that was tough getting him through that and seeing that, you know, coming to the SEC might be the best route to eventually be a major league ball player. So I'm thankful that process took care of itself and got him here. And I think he's growing by leaps and bounds all year. He's always had these tools. But I think by coming here and playing college baseball that I'm already seeing maturity. I'm seeing more communication. I'm seeing, you know, he's got an Ike Irish and a Cooper McMurray, you know, some good left-handed hitters with age and experience and been around the block, so to speak, to pour into him, invest in him. And it's pretty neat for him to have his best and biggest weekend in the biggest moment here at the end of our season.
Yeah, it was a great week last week, Coach, and I know you're looking forward to this opportunity this weekend to host at Plainsman Park. I want to talk a little bit about Coastal. I think a lot of people that have followed college baseball for a long time remember them kind of being the Cinderella story back in 2016 when they won the championship. That was an amazing offensive baseball team, a fun one to watch for sure. And they come in now this weekend having won 21 in a row. Their last loss came on April 24th. What can you tell us about this group and how hot they are coming into this Super?
Well, I can brag on them all day. You know, nobody's got 51 wins in college baseball. They possess that. they were really a Cinderella story, right? 2016 was their first appearance ever. Gary Gilmore, longtime coach, they won it all, and just amazing. I think they went to Baton Rouge for that regional in 2016 and got out of there and marched all the way to the championship. Coach Gilmore, who was there for 29 years, yielded to Kevin Schnall this year. So this is Kevin's first year, and he's got the hottest team in college baseball coming to Plainsman Park. They have been unbeatable at home, which they looked like in their regional last week. Right-handed starters primarily, but the first guy's 11-0, the second guy's like 9-1. And I just looked at their offense. They've been hit by 165 pitches, which is the most in college baseball. They've stole over 100 bases. I don't think they're like a typical SEC team where you're trying to build and, get a couple guys on, hit the 3-run homer. But they're kind of the paper cut group, that's the death by 1,000 paper cuts. But they have a chance to score and create offense every inning. So they have 430-something freebies, whether it's hit by pitch or walks, et cetera. And they've built an offense and got a whole group engineered to be masters of that. And then when I say those pitchers they're phenomenal, I'm not sure they're any more talented than, like seeing Liam Doyle or Ianson or Kate Anderson for LSU, and you can just name every team, Riley Quick from Alabama, but they don't walk you. So I think what Coastal Carolina, this run, as I'm looking at them all week, I would get it down. I would funnel all this information down in my simplest form to my baseball team to get them ready is they are freebie champions. So they have over 400, and they got a starter that's at 90 innings and walked 8. And then the number 2 starter is at 75 innings and walked 6. So you're going to have to beat these guys, but that's the way it's supposed to be. So we'll have to execute great. They have a defined identity. Whenever a person or a team has a defined identity and know exactly who they are and how to operate, they're a handful.
Butch Thompson, Auburn head baseball coach, joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You mentioned how many times they've been hit by pitch. Take our listeners further into how a team can actually impact that on themselves, so to speak.
Yeah, I do think it makes great hitters. I do think that it definitely produces offense. I do think as you watch and look that you have to pitch in, but you have to execute in. And the other team that I'm reminded that we played on the schedule early on in Lexington is a Kentucky team, and they just won't move, and it's part of their deal. And they celebrate the hit by pitch because it's part of their DNA. But when you teach a hitter not to move and not give up space, I really believe every pitch is personal. And teams that value the hit by pitch, I think, understand that. I've always told teams that somebody wins and loses every pitch. It's just it's a matter of you that invested in it or not. And you can't just own half the plate. You have to own all 17 inches of that plate. And it seems like they absolutely know that people are going to pitch them in, and they're going to hold their ground, and they're just betting on you missing with some of those, and they're not going anywhere.
It's pretty impressive to be able to stand in it and just wear it. It's not something that I think a lot of guys are going to voluntarily do. You referenced their stolen bases, 106 this year. That's by far the most in the Sun Belt. How does that, knowing that threat always exists when they have a runner on, how does that alter your structure defensively, or how does that change your pitcher's approach to runners on base and your catcher's approach, knowing that they're always a threat?
Yeah, you can't let it be too big a thing, right? Because this game is defined by somebody winning and losing every pitch, like I said. And, it could be our failure as a program if we haven't planned for this since August. I will say now, I think we've done a really good job, and we have a freshman back there catching, Chase Fralick's, another one of our amazing freshmen that's done a great job. We got through a whole regional with Stetson, who was in this same category. Having a lead is very important, Greg. Having a lead in a ball game can curtail this more than anything. Number 2 is just valuing an investment of getting the leadoff man out, because whenever a leadoff man gets on or somebody gets to first base, you've lost defensive posture. You cannot defend the 3 acres as well. The first baseman comes and holds him on. The middle infielders give up ground and range all the way around the field. The pitcher goes from that wind up where he can gather energy and deliver in a straight line that maximizes his ability to throw the ball, and he goes to an abbreviated stretch. Now he's got to do it at a certain time, which everybody in college baseball is always trying to get a pitcher to be, 1-3 to the plate from the time of his first movement or handbrake to the ball hits the mitt. So those are all the things that Coastal has built into their program. And, we got out of the regional last week, 3 complete ball games, and did not give up a stolen base. So we hopefully and feel like and have executed that we can do a good job with it. If this is something that they do better than what we can do, then that can create some uncomfortableness within the ranks. So undoubtedly that's what Coastal's been able to do to their opponent. I sure hope that we're prepared enough, and if we're just trying to prepare in 2 or 3 days for this, it's not going to work. We have to hope that our preparation and everything that we've done to build into our strategies have been good enough from beginning in August.
Butch Thompson, Auburn head baseball coach, joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Finally, Coach, you mentioned that crowd last weekend. It sounded incredible watching on TV. I know it was filled, and I know there were people that weren't able to actually get into the stadium that were around watching also. We've gone back and forth this week of sort of the differences that it makes. Outside of some of the motivational factors of having the home crowd on your side, hearing them roar, getting you a little extra pep in your step, what else are the advantages of playing one of these at home? What else does it offer your team that maybe folks listening might not be thinking about?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think it builds our brand. I think people to love college baseball, to build Auburn baseball even more. It provides that opportunity for this first super regional on campus ever. Whenever you've had a program that's been playing over 100 years and you do something that we've never done before, to me that's a big deal. Coming here 10 years ago with a vision, because now this is year 24 in the SEC, of seeing what it looks like across the board at every one of our great schools and venues. It started 10 years ago of like trying to get a vision here and not knowing if you could ever get there, but the timing of this has been a blessing, Cole, from where you go. We just had these renovations and all this best foot forward and accumulation of this 9 years and getting all this stuff built. Like, man, this would be a great year to host a regional and a super. And for that to happen, I think that's good. We're on our 4th year in a row of breaking attendance records. So to me, there was a great alignment that's allowed. That was fever pitch last weekend for us. That's back-to-back days of breaking the all-time single game record for attendance. The timing was great. And then my last point is my administration of, I think the loser thinks like, man, we're landlocked. I think the people that always fighting for inches, they go like, we're not landlocked, we're vision locked. And last weekend we put up portable stuff and we had TV screens and monitors for people that couldn't see straight away at the game to allow that influx of more people to come. And you know what? It would be easy to go from last week to this week and say, man, last week was good enough. And our people didn't do that. And I want people to know that. And you're giving me that opportunity. We are putting people above the batting cage this weekend, somehow, some way, some shape, form, or fashion, to like, we didn't take last week was good enough for our fans and for this opportunity that we've been trying to build and erect things this week to allow us to continue to grow here for another week. And man, as a coach, I think you guys would understand when you see people around you, because the portal opened for us Monday. We're doing visits. We're trying to get a team ready to play this awesome team coming in. But to have this whole group of people that are supporting us right now and doing things like this, to have the vision for us to continue to grow from week to week, man, I'm impressed. But that's a few of my thoughts about this weekend.
No, it's really cool, Coach. We appreciate you taking some time to join us. We're excited to watch your baseball team this weekend. Good luck, and hopefully we'll catch up with you again next week.
Sounds great. I hope so. You have a great week. War Eagle.
War Eagle. Thank you. Butch Thompson joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline, talking Auburn, Coastal Carolina, that super regional. Greg, you brought up some numbers on that team. It is it's staggering to look at sort of what they've done. 21-game win streak, longest in Division I, third longest heading into a super regional all time. Held 13 to 21 opponents to 2 or fewer runs during that streak. And you take that along with what did Butch Thompson say was what he loved the most about his team last weekend?
Winning.
They won. Coastal's been doing that. So should be a good series this weekend. Should be fun to watch. Should be entertaining. And I know a lot of folks going to be tuned in, going to be dialed in to see what they could do. That'll be down in Auburn. If maybe you're looking to move from Auburn to Birmingham, Gust Eagles and the Gust Eagles group can help. They want to help you like they've helped over 3,000 home buyers and sellers in the greater Birmingham area. Over 835-star Google reviews. Just go Google Gust Eagles group and you'll see, brokered by eXp Realty. You'll learn really fast why Gust Eagles has been able to help so many people in Central Alabama. You can trust his aggressive and proven selling system that's got what it takes to attract hundreds of qualified buyers that want your home. He's helped family members of mine. Go to GustyGoolsGroup.com, Google Gust Eagles Group, or call 205-542-1996 today and start packing. All right, we'll wrap it up next right here on Jocks 94.5. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Villanova going to make a move to the Patriot League from the CAA. They follow Richmond and William & Mary from CAA to the Patriot. Tough blow for the CAA. They have had a lot of movement since 2021. Losses include JMU, Delaware, Richmond, now William and Mary, Villanova, and they've added Bryant, Campbell, Hampton, Monmouth, and North Carolina A&T. So some conference movement there. We've talked about the NCAA video game, and a lot of people go nuts about it, talk about it, tweet about it.
Do they?
Give reviews on it. Yeah, it's big. There's some things beginning to trickle out now about the next Madden game that's coming out. What was the last Madden game you played?
Oh my gosh.
The number on it.
Like regularly?
Or at all?
Played it all. I played a little bit during COVID.
But it was the new game or an older one?
No, the
That you
new
already
one,
had?
whatever the version was at that time.
Okay.
I was more of NCAA. I played Madden one time.
Okay. Madden NFL 26 will feature recaps from Scott Hansen and halftime shows.
Oh,
Who's playing?
okay.
I don't have
Kendrick
I
Lamar?
haven't seen the tape. But it's interesting because I remember at Tecmo Bowl, they had halftime show, and it was just like 8 pictures
Mm-hmm.
with music playing. And
Right.
they'd show one for 4 seconds, and then the next one. You could just start and go through it.
Yeah.
Like, who's sitting through that?
I am.
You're sitting
You're
through a
sitting through a
halftime show
Madden
on a video
halftime
game?
show?
Absolutely.
You're
The
telling
first
me
one.
this generation that can't be without screens, that need everything now, that the instant a 5-second ad pops up, oh, why can't I skip?
See?
Or is it
I'll
going
do
to
it the
sit
first
through
one.
this?
just to see
Okay.
what it's like and then kind of judge from there.
Come
You
on.
mean never watch it again?
There it is.
Yeah, you do it one time just
No.
to see what it looks like.
You're not
Then after
watching
that. Boom.
You're not watching that.
We sim right through it.
You are not watching that.
I'll watch it the first one.
This generation can't sit through a 10-second theme song on a streaming show.
Correct.
Skip intro. Let me through. I don't need it.
Yes. Can't have the
You
intro.
gotta get the first time just to see what it's like, and then after that, no, we go.
Hansen will offer weekly recaps in franchise mode.
Okay.
I don't really think that's going to be something that's widely consumed.
The
Thoughts?
halftime shows?
I don't think anyone's going to watch the halftime shows. Just feels like a waste of graphics. I think people might watch them one time
Right.
and it'll have like a viral moment. Maybe they'll put some Easter eggs in there to make it interesting, but I
Says,
don't.
in the release, there'll be all new custom broadcast packages for Sunday, Monday, Thursday primetime games.
Yes, I could see that.
And of course,
I think
Sunday
they're
Night Football,
heading
Monday
that-
Night Football.
I think they're heading that direction in a lot of ways.
So, but still doesn't say anything about talent or who in halftime shows.
I think the talent will probably be associated with the network broadcast packages.
They're putting some detail into it. I'll give them that.
They're going to make it a realistic experience.
And
Okay.
guys over in Detroit today,
My
Jahmyr
question,
Gibbs, 126 yards rushing in fake fantasy football digital land. What?
Well, if it's going to be realistic, then this game should cost like $600.
people love fantasy football.
That's a fact.
Like, are obsessed with fantasy football.
There's no doubt about that.
It's a fact.
So I'm not that surprised that they're incorporating it into Madden. Is that surprising to you?
You think having fake studio halftime shows in the video games for fantasy football?
No, but I think having fantasy football elements in the Madden NFL franchise, I would think that in order to encourage more fantasy participation, they're going to incorporate it in the kids' game. Do you not agree?
I don't know. What do you get if you win fantasy football of fantasy football? How does that work?
The old double fantasy?
I mean, fantasies run deep, I guess.
I don't know. You probably get a Ludacris album. What's your fantasy?
That was a good pull. That was a
See?
good pull. Good job.
I'm aware.
I just don't need it.
No, you don't. But it's not for you.
Who is a halftime show in a video game for?
Social media
Other
people.
than Damien,
Social media.
apparently.
Literally social media.
The one time for Damien.
They're going to put some
What are you
Easter
gonna
eggs
keep,
in
you
there.
going to keep putting it on social over and over? Like,
No, you do it once and you
Yeah.
change it up. I mean,
Change
it's
it
all
up.
done on the web now, so they can like update the halftime shows and stuff. You put an Easter egg in there. Oh, see? Look. Wait, was that Serena Williams doing the crip walk?
oh boy.
Like they're gonna put things
They'll
in
put
there
some-
like
yeah.
that, and it's gonna go viral, and everyone's gonna be talking. Oh, Sarah, I gotta buy this game. Like they'll do that. There'll be things like that.
Okay.
Which I kind of am on board with. I think it's a good marketing play.
Seems
if it
dumb.
can create viral moments, then that's not a bad decision. Now,
Okay.
I'm not buying it, but I understand why they would incorporate it. You feel me?
What's your favorite video game all time?
NCAA.
Arcade, anything?
Actually, I take that back. My favorite video game of all time is either GoldenEye or NFL Blitz.
NFL Blitz was fun.
NFL Blitz ripped in the day, but NBA Jam/Hang Time was also right there.
Wait, Hang Time.
Yeah, Hang Time was like the off-brand of Jam. They're literally the exact same thing.
Oh.
They even had
NBA
the
Jam,
same.
I logged some hours on NBA Jam.
Yeah, I did too.
Hours. And in the arcade, it was awful because it was 50 cents a quarter. You talk about going broke in a hurry.
How
Like,
quick?
I wanted to see Shaq rip the backboard down, but not for
Not for that price. Not worth it.
was that $2 a game.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't afford that. John, favorite video game all time? Any platform, any console, any place, arcade, anything.
Of the arcade stand-up one was the Ninja Turtles video game that you just pump quarters in.
That was good.
At home, Grand Theft Auto 3.
I've never played a Grand Theft Auto game.
They were good.
San Andreas.
They were good. The Grand Theft Auto game.
3 and later, yes. Like I played 1 and 2, and it's like, okay, like this ain't bad. And 3 was like, nah, we upgrading.
When I was
Damien,
playing for the Bengals, we logged some hours on Grand Theft Auto
Okay.
for sure.
What was the coolest thing you did? Spray
Uh,
paint a car?
I don't know. Steal a
Purse?
no.
No, that's
No, steal the
I would occasionally walk up and just beat somebody
yeah.
up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That would
absolutely.
happen
It's fun.
regularly.
Yeah.
See how much money they got.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely stole an ambulance or two. Like, no doubt.
The FBI car, man. Whew,
Yeah.
that thing flew.
Helicopters.
That's a good one.
Damien, favorite video game all time?
NCAA football 06.
Why 6?
Because that was the first introduction to Campus Legend, where you had to work your way up from.
Yeah, you get to win the
freshman
Heisman.
to the
Nobody's
Heisman.
putting that
It was
time
gangster.
into a video game.
And you had to play school. You had to play school. You had to go to school.
Yeah, you did.
You want me to take you back in time, Damien?
Oh boy.
Oh, here we go.
There was a time
Arr.
that some of us had to go through in which you couldn't turn your console off if you wanted to finish a game.
Oh yeah, I was the same way. I didn't have a memory card on my PlayStation 2 for a long time.
How many hours did your
but-
Nintendo 64 stay on?
Memory
Right,
cards
but yeah, the
The
existed.
option wasn't there.
Wasn't
Right,
there? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So if you wanted to beat Contra and you got up early that morning and started and got to level 4, you just stopped and put the controller down, turned the TV off, and hoped nobody noticed that the game was on. And then you came home from school like 11 hours later and you were like, oh, yeah,
There was a
level
lot
4,
of
here
fear.
we go.
There was a
We're
lot of
back
fear.
in it. Games didn't save at all.
No.
You either,
Yeah.
it was full run or you didn't make it.
That's brutal.
It
There
was
were no
tough.
floppy disks in that day.
It was tough sledding for sure.
That's brutal.
You had to
I
want
would
it.
probably go, if I had to give a top 3, GoldenEye is definitely in there.
GoldenEye is a great one.
I actually think I'm going to put Galaga in there
Oh God.
because I can pass
How old are
Galaga
you?
any place, anywhere, anytime, and I want to play it. They
You
had
are
it at the SEC thing at the baseball tournament, and I was like, hold on,
Gotta
let me
do
show
it.
you how to get
You are
this.
literally 100.
in
Gotta do
5.
You're the oldest person I know.
And then it would be a debate. It's OG Tech Mobile. RBI Baseball's in there too, but it's OG Tech Mobile. Yeah.
OG
That's
Tecmo
relevant.
Bowl is solid. Little before my time. Another one very underrated was FIFA.
I
Any
never
and
got
all
into soccer
versions.
games either,
Yeah,
but
I
man,
never got
people
into
loved
soccer.
them.
FIFA was great. It was the one game, and I don't watch a lot of soccer like we talked about earlier in the show.
Next year you will.
I don't want. Yeah, I know next year for sure. I'm all in. USA. We're a team we're on the cusp. But I don't watch like a ton of soccer. It's the one game that I could sit and watch other people play and it didn't bother me. It's the only one.
Yeah.
Every other game is like I want to play. But I could sit and watch 2 other guys play and
Is that because you didn't think you'd be good?
No,
or
no,
because
we
it
were
was
pretty
just,
good,
It just
like-
looked that cool to watch.
No, we were pretty good. It just kind of looked like you were watching soccer. So it just didn't really bother you that bad.
Most underrated game all time. Is there one that pops into your brain?
Yeah, for sure.
I'll go totally random off the reservation. RC Pro-Am.
RC Pro.
That was fun.
God, it was a great
That
game
was
back
hella
in the
fun.
day.
Oh,
It was basically Mario Kart before there was Mario Kart.
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah. I'm not familiar with it. I will
We
tell
know.
you.
You're young.
I will tell
Congrats.
you the most underrated game of our generation was Mario Party.
Oh, of course.
Mario Party
Sounds like a blast.
was legit. So was Super Smash Brothers.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll put that on there.
I'll
Those
play
are the
that.
two most
That was fun.
underrated games.
I don't know if it's underrated. Everyone knows about it.
I'll play that one.
Yeah,
now.
but like nobody, like when you talk about best games ever, as far as hours logged, Mario Party and Super Smash Brothers are in there for me. They're not up there with GoldenEye. They're not up there with some of the sports games we've already
Sure.
referenced, but they're right there in the next in line. And I feel like no one ever talks about them. Like Super Smash Brothers is 100 times more entertaining than Mortal Kombat for me.
I haven't played it. I don't know what it is.
It's awesome.
it's awesome.
It's
Mortal
really
Kombat
good.
2, though, back in the day. I mean, I'm
That slapped.
Finish here.
Mortal Kombat was good. Like it was fine, but I enjoyed Super Smash Brothers better. It was just better.
Damien, most underrated all time.
I'd say.
I think I got
Greg's
carpal
point.
tunnel syndrome from Mortal Kombat. I'm not gonna
MLB
lie.
Slugfest, because it was like the baseball version of NFL.
NFL Blitz, yeah. Okay.
And
Did
Bear
that one where
Bonds
you
in
could
the
like
game.
play in the street?
I don't
and
remember
stuff?
that.
No, like if you
Oh no, that was
I remember one MLB game you could like go play like literally in downtown New York City.
I think
Like,
we
that was
had
a-
like
hit
no,
off
it
the
was
buildings
literally
and
called
stuff.
like NBA Street, and we used
oh, yeah,
to
NBA
play.
Or
All You
MLB
Two was the
Street?
best.
I don't remember MLB Street.
There was one in Major League game you could go play in the street.
I kind of
Yeah.
remember that actually. Like I'm actually having some flashbacks to playing a game where you're playing stickball in the street with Major League Baseball players.
Gotta find that.
I vaguely remember that.
All right, we will probably have a better conversation than this has been next on Jocks 94.5. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. We do have 2 bad box scores of the day for you. First, Greg Skipworth tweeting in, Tecmo Bowl was great back in the day. Louis DeArmond tweets in, Tecmo Super Bowl, which was better technically. However, Tecmo's the OG, man. Like, it is what it is. He also says, and double dribble, summer 92. Double dribble was awful. It was a terrible game.
I don't remember
You
it.
couldn't make shots. Literally. It was just, and then when you went up to dunk, it did this like showed like flash shots of the guy dunking, and none of them were cool dunks.
None of
It
them.
just wasn't a good game.
Just no cool dunks.
But Lewis does make up for that with his next tweet saying, Excitebike and Paperboy were good forgotten games. Excitebike
That's
was
probably
so much fun.
Excitebike. Yeah,
Excitebike?
would have been mine.
You
yeah,
could create your own course,
Mm-hmm.
and it was great.
I
Just
did
always
not.
put the big giant one just back to back to back to back, and have him flip, and he just rolls up and
The
down the whole
speed
time.
things,
Yeah, yeah.
little speed boosters.
That's a
over and
good
over.
one. I remember, did any of y'all ever play SSX Tricky?
Nope.
It was like a
I did one.
It's like
yeah.
a snowboarding game?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
that was a pretty good game. It was kind of like Tony Hawk, skateboarding or whatnot, but it was snowboards. That was a pretty good game.
I
Underrated.
figured with all your prowess that we have mentioned, your saxophone and
Not
pole
prowess.
vaulting and everything, that you would have gone with the
Just cultured.
the dancing game in the arcade with the arrows.
Never played
Dance
that.
Dance Revolution.
I don't think that would have gone well for me.
You've never played that. I don't believe that.
You got the quick feet, man. You
I'm
got
not
it.
kidding. I've never played it.
Shh.
I've never played that game.
I
I wouldn't
guys-
be caught dead on that game.
You need to go to Twitter and dig up the video that I took of a guy when I was living in Huntsville. I think he had to be a professional.
He was legit.
He was dialed in.
And I sat there watching this guy. It's unbelievable.
I
And
can't
he
imagine.
would had his hands on the rails, leaning backwards, and his feet were like 4 feet in front of the rails, and he's just like, wearing it out. And this little 4-year-old girl's next to him, like, I quit.
That's incredible.
That's determination.
It's the video's out there somewhere. I'm just telling
Oh,
you.
I'm sure.
And it's actually scary, to be honest with you, to see a grown man doing that. The way he was
Right.
doing. It's probably not safe.
No, I bet you it's unbelievable. Like the level of like the foot to brain connection, I don't have. Do you have that?
Not to
Somewhat.
that extent.
Nah, yeah, not to that. I'm not committed like
Especially
that.
not hanging off a rail.
Yeah, that's hard. Very difficult.
Did want to let you guys know at the NJCAA D3 Baseball World Series Championship game. How about that intro?
Love that.
That the Century College
Colonels.
Fall Out Boys.
Century College Centurions.
They're the Ducks. Just snuck past the Rowan College
Rough Riders.
Blunts.
Roadrunners
Ah,
Yeah.
that's close.
16-1
In the championship game?
championship game
They ain't won it bad enough.
of the World Series.
It happens.
They finished 46-11 on the season. So
Not
Oh,
great.
season.
yeah, it's good game for them. So
Champions.
also in the D2 championship game, Lakeland College knocked off Florence Darlington 20-8. 3-man front is next.